disappointment. Now the vice president often tell me, since he got a seat as vice president, how many persons have I recommended in this government to serve in the government as presidential appointee? Zero. Every appointment in Nima County was done by him. He and I would discuss something as a brother. To implement it, you will bypass me and do different things. I better keep it. I don't talk on it.
Now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you. That's why we vote tell you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
The good person in our whole United Party, that President Bwaka. You want to say that again? The only person that appreciate good among all the United Party for the President Bwaka. The rest are ungrateful. The right, they use you and dumb you. But President Bwaka, if all of them were thinking the President Bwaka and behaving the President Bwaka, United Party will have another chance in 2029. Just for now, they do not regard people that help them.
Three of our soldiers were executed on this party ground. 2 at the back and 1 right at the headquarters. The man who shot and killed our people today is a darling boy in the Liberian National Police. They brought him back to shoot more guns. Get ready to shoot. Because we challenge the status quo appropriately.
Inform that violence or still any student because of the action, it will be the day the entire Bwaka administration will call down. We will massively violate the students in this country and we'll shut down the Bwaka administration. The day that happens, we have the capability to do so. And if they think this renovation project is a joke, let them try it. The fall of the Bwaka administration begins with this. If they think they will tumble on any student in this country or at the university like Garguah and water in infinity, while our children saving opponents and lottery in the Western world, while we are subjected to agile power and bad learning conditions here, and the thing will say.
In the first 100 days, no car will get stuck on the major road in this country. And I mean it.
You say you are loud?
It's going down. First floor. There you have it.
That led to decades of war still run deep. But so too does the longing for reconciliation. A reconciliation defined not by political bargaining or by an artificial balance of power by tribe, region, religion, or ethnicity, but by the equality of opportunity and a better future for all Liberians.
Bwaka can lie, the government, all the ministers in the government, they can lie. They don't put all hustler, they put a hustler, they lie. Everything they say, they never say the truth.
Today, the supporters of His Excellency Joseph Bwaka presents him as a poor man from Lofa, and I said that he will understand the plight of the poor people. Fellow Liberians, do not be fooled. Vice President Bwaka is not poor like you, not even as me. As Vice President, his office received more money from the government budget than any other Vice President has received in Liberia's history. He has enjoyed some of the best and most lucrative government jobs.
First of all, there's this, what I call sort of vicious lie about the fact that Mr. Kobe is gay or bring gay lifestyle to Liberia. It's complete bullshit. When people can accuse you of stealing people's money, when they can accuse you of being involved in war, anything, people don't make up stuff. They don't make up shit. Excuse my language, right? So it's complete nonsense. I'm married, 8 Teresa, 2 children, 5 grandchildren. I believe in traditional family values, so it's complete bullshit, complete nonsense.
Young man, vice president, young man that are vice president, the major stole 500,000. I mean, Jamaica, the major went to, I forget that Jamaica, the majors went to Ghana, the fit, and they may bring it all company in the country. I mean, Kun, they can't reach yourself. Kun, man, you know, Kun, but I want to sophisticated, quiet, hardcore rule in Labro. But Labro,
when 2029 come and pass, then you finally leave. Mission is completed. Now, what the rules of engagement? When the war ended, the guy said, the captain, the commander said, mission complete. There wounded outwards, all men on board.
Everywhere there is no school, I will put school. And everywhere there is school and school in bad condition, I will renovate it. I told them, towns and villages, everywhere you will have lights in a town for children to play and people to see. I told them, every town will have safe drinking water.
If Charles Taylor is the problem, he will be out of here in the twinkle of an eye. And I say, let well-meaning Liberians come home. If we respect this constitution, a government formed in Accra is a violation of Article 1 of the Constitution. Let them come home. Let that government be formed in Monrovia.
The government that capital road, small, B road, all kinds of I think the reason Joseph Baga will not do much because the old man, the papa is suffering. The papa loves the country, but he can't make it. The criminal there around him, they sophisticated than him. They are sophisticated criminals, so they can't make it.
Your league Costa, God know how to pay people. It's just simple. Costa that accused everybody here but himself. Everybody, we join, we accuse Joe, he killed Joseph Boaga. Boaga still living. Joe, no, you leave better. He made me senator. He almost made Joseph Boaga president until he screwed up. We gave God the glory. Yeah. Well, Boaga, when he screwed, he said, oh, we don't want to make sure we will fought for him to be reconciled with the president. And then the people who fought for him. Look, your league Costa, you will come. And Costa was in a podcast, he said, they don't been calling me. Okay. The time you were calling me for me to kind of Boaga, did I put it on radio? That immaturity to do what you're talking about.
And I guarantee you, when we finish, there will not be a winner or the loser. Today we all wear the jersey of Liberia, and the victory belongs to the people, to the peace and to our democracy. As we begin to build upon the foundation of this new Liberia, I, George Seleke Kromah, the new president, will first give thanks and praises to the Almighty God for the blessing He has bestowed upon our country. And I say, my people, thank you,
We elect on 85 irresponsible men that want to happen to the country. We elect on 85 irresponsible men to govern this country, not to be very irresponsible.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Friday edition of the closing argument. Today, as you know, a while ago, I was adopted by my Fula community in Liberia. That was 3 years ago. And my name is Alhaji Jerome Gayman. Yes, today I am a Fula man. Bassa Fula man. So if you're going to refer to me today, call me Alhaji. Jerome Gayman Bah. Yes. The ceremony took place on Benson and Gurley Streets at the shop of Miss Halima Bah. So today, officially, I'm Kotor, as in Fulani, Uncle Kotor. So I will be your guest today. I am Alhaji Jerome Bah Gayman, or you can just call me Alhaji. So I'm in my full Fula regalia. If you are not watching, you are missing something. A Bassa Fula man today. Today is Friday and July the 10th, 2026. We are glad to be here. We will be joined by our brothers and sisters from Freedom FM. For now, we say hello to our friends and our parent company, Truth FM 96.1. If you are in Grand Bassa County, we say welcome. Montserrato, Magibi, Riverses, Nima, Bang, Lofa, Bapulu, Cape Mount, Bomi. We say welcome to the show. It is a great day. If you are a supporter of Belgium, like today, I was supporting Belgium in the World Cup because of one of my favorite players, Romelu Lukaku. But unfortunately for them, they lost 2-1 in the 90th minute of the game. So Spain is moving on to play France. And that would be, to me, that would be the World Cup final. Whoever wins that game will win the World Cup. The game between France and Spain will be the World Cup final. The winner of that game is going to be crowned the World Cup champions. Obviously, everybody has picked France to be the champions of the World Cup. From what I saw yesterday, with the France team on full display, I stand to be corrected, but I think they will be very, very difficult to beat. All things considered, I think they have the quality, the organization, and the stamina to be 2026 World Cup champions. France. That is, with all things considered, we say. All things considered. Johnson Setu Chile. Welcome to the show, my friend. David Gofa. I am watching from District 11, Montserrato County. David, welcome to the show. Melvin Flomo, I don't know where you're tuning in from, but welcome to the show. Abraham Genesis Nya Gompe. I am watching from Dopoh Community District 14. Our friends and family, Dopoh Community. What is Mr. Gayman wearing again today? Madam Sarah Dopoh, come and see your moderator. Joma Jala, I just introduced myself. I am, today I'm going to be Al-Haji Jerome Gayman. I was adopted, coronated by my Fula folks in Liberia. And they gave me the full Fula name. Today I'm going to be Basa Fula Al-Haji Jerome Gayman. So Joma Jala, eat your heart out. You are not Fula, I am. You sorry, Joma Jala. You're jealous of me because they made me an honorary Fula man. Joma Jala, yes. Welcome to the show, Joma. Roberta Richards, she says she's watching, but she didn't tell her where she's watching from. I see Oliver Saka, he's watching from Accra, Ghana. And Maximo T. Doru, he's watching live from Casablanca. I'm sorry, son, that the boys from Morocco were sent home yesterday. In fact, today, the Federation of Football in Morocco put up a statement denying that someone on their team or the perception that Morocco said they did not represent Africa. After the commentator said they are the only remaining team from the continent of Africa remaining in the lane, in the game, and that the hopes and aspirations of all Africans were dependent on the performance of Morocco. And the Moroccan teams and some players from the team said, no, they do not represent Africa. They are more of representing the Arab League. So they have disassociated themselves from the continent. They may be there geographically, but they say they do not belong to the continent of Africa. But whenever they are winning, they do not consider themselves Africans. But when they are losing and something terrible befalls them, then they want to rally the African continent behind them. So today, the nation itself took the painstaking attention away from everybody else and said whatever was said was not true, that they are proud to be part of the continent. This is not the first time we have heard this. This is not the last time we have heard this. So yes, welcome. Let's keep sending in the messages. Today is Friday. We're going to be a little relaxed. Melvin Flomo, thank you for tuning in. I don't know where you are tuning in from. Oliver Saka said, you are truly representing the culture of our land tonight, Mr. Gayman. Absolutely. Thank you, Oliver. We are all one. This Bassa man is proud to be Fula. They like what I do. They like what I do and how I do it. And they call me and adopted me as one of their own. And they gave me the name Al-Haji Jerome Gayman. Martin Willis says he's watching from South Korea. Thank you very much, young man. It's way out there. I heard there was a monsoon in that area. Hopefully you are safe and your family is safe. I have a friend who just texted me from Singapore. There's another one I texted from Malaysia. They are all hunkering down because there is a monsoon expected in that area. We pray that everybody is safe. I pray, Martin Willie, that you are safe in Korea, that your family is doing well, and that everybody in the Korean Peninsula are doing well. Emmanuel Dees, good evening to the Freedom FM radio and TV family. I am monitoring from District 10, Old Rose Smythe Road community. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today is Friday. We're going to have a great time. I can assure you it's going to be great. We got nothing to fear but fear itself. Politics, religion, education, healthcare, roads, public safety, security, drugs. This whole week, we're going to be doing the weekend review. We're going to go all the way from Monday and cover almost everything that catches your heart. Joe Malley, Wallakandi is a TCA. And happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, my friend. And I will have to go to Minnesota all the way, Midwest, to the almighty Mozart Dennis. So I'm watching from Minnesota. He posted something this week, whatever, yesterday or the day before. It was a great photograph of the Invincible 11, the Yellow Boys, either in the early or mid 80s. And the caption were, can you name these players or all players? And many people did their best to name those players. I did my best. I named a lot of them. But one guy by the name of Jabo, I think his name is Kai Jabo, I think. Never saw him, don't know who he is. I think he might be a footballer. But he named all standing from left to right and all squatting from left to right. Great squat. The blue and yellow, the Yellow Boys, Invincible 11. I want to believe that photograph was taken from the lenses of Mozart Dennis. Great shot. I recognize a few folks there that I have encountered when I was a student in New Jersey in the 80s. I saw Abba, a gentleman that ran against me for political office, president for the New Jersey chapter of ULA, the late Seleke Gomez. May his soul rest in peace. Seleke Gomez ran against me in New Jersey, and it was unfortunate for him. He ran into a political buzzsaw, and I defeated him. My vice president was a young, brilliant lady by the name of Onika Mensko. Onika Mensko. Brilliant. But that was yesteryears. But great picture, Mozart. Beautiful pictures. Many of the guys on there, unfortunately, 3 or 4 of those gentlemen I heard have died. But yes, great photo. Bumbo Momo Tuma, I am following you from Culver City. Kolahon, we should continue the great work. Thank you very much, our folks in Lofa County, Kolahon. Vinicius Jr., Ba. Oh, yeah, I'm watching from District 16. You see, you have the same deal as I have. I am today, Friday, the 10th of July. I am hosting today as Alhaji Jerome Gayman. That is my name that was given me by my brothers and sisters in the Fula community, and they gowned me and gave me this beautiful hat. So today I pay tribute to all my Fula brothers and cousins and friends. I am today your host. Not only Jerome Gayman, but as Alhaji Jerome Gayman, the Bassa Fula boy. Talking about that, let me give you the weather in Buchanan. Today is 78 degrees. If you are from Freedom FM and you are related to Junkies Morris, he's from some place called Peabody in Maryland County. The weather today is 76 degrees. If you are from Monrovia, today is 77 degrees in Monrovia, but you have a flood watch. It is raining, slight rain today, with the possibility of flash flood. My brother from Lofa, from Carver City, Colahome, the weather in Lofa County today is 73 degrees and cool. 73 is a very good weather. Wherever you're from, if you want me to check out the weather in your hometown, let me know, and I will definitely go to the weather center here in Miami. They give you up-to-date weather on the money. The World Cup is coming to an end. Argentina and Switzerland next. But we have seen Spain go through. We will see. It looks like this is France's World Cup to lose. France looked good. I saw them play yesterday, and I'm convinced they are very solid. They are very solid. Abraham Genesis Nya. Go Pain, I am watching from Dopoh community. Thank you very much. Yes, second time I'm saying that name. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Hopefully I am pronouncing the name right. We have a special guest today. He's a preacher, mayor of the Clough. He will be here. His name is Reverend James D. Barkley. Reverend Barkley has a master's degree in public service leadership, Capella University. MSW, Masters of Social Work from Rutgers University. Former Vice President, Painesville Board of Education, Pleasantville Board of Education. Former Secretary of Fellowship of Churches of Atlantic City and its vicinity. Council member, Pleasantville City Council. First Vice President, EULA Board of Directors. He will be here in a few minutes. He'll be on the hot seat. We will listen to what Reverend James Barkley has to say about all of his portfolios. What is his vision for EULA and for the new Liberia? Fan opinions I'm following from Benjamin City, Lofa County. Okay. All of our folks in Benjamin, the city of unification. All you got to do, fam, tomorrow you have to go to the Unification Pavilion or the Unification Center there, and all that grass that growing all over the place, you cut the grass, man, and maintain that place. Tottenham building for all of us. I got to maintain the place. Jordan Daniel, he said, I love that suit. Yes, thank you very much. You love your Bassa brother, the Bassa Fuller. I'm a Bassa Fuller today. Alhaji, they call me. Jerome Gayman. So when you call me today, you better put my title by my name, Alhaji. Oh, I'm coming for you. I'm watching again here. Spain is on fire. Garguah, California is on fire. All the Spanish people are all over the place. Dancing because Spain just won 2-1. Tomorrow is Norway and England. That will be a great game too. And then also Switzerland and Messi. The World Cup, FIFA's darling boy. You touch him, you breathe on him, he will fall down. You come close to him, he will fall down. You don't even have to touch him. All you got to do is breathe hard and he falls down and get him penalty. That's the only thing I don't like Messi, and my favorite player is Ronaldo. The three fake people in soccer, my favorite is Ronaldo, and you got Messi, and the gentleman from Brazil, Neymar. They are as floppy as they can come. Those three guys, they flop on everything. Neymar flops for anything. Messi, same thing. Ronaldo, the same thing. How great can you be when everything you want to be given to you free? And in the Premier League, they get away with it. But I'm glad in the World Cup, the people are telling them to play. The guy was saying, get up, get up, get up, get up, after they have flopped. Ronaldo was flopping all over the place. Messi. Neymar, forget it. He's the flopping King Kong. Emmett Harmon, I'm following from Kiss City. That's right. So when you are called one of the greatest players of all time, for me, Messi will never be, because he flops too much, he cries too much, and he gave me a lot of favoritism. Same thing with my favorite player, Ronaldo, flops also. He flops and flops and flops. Neymar, Messi, and Ronaldo, they are the flopping King Kong of soccer. Flex Electronic, thank you, my brother, for tuning in, reporting live from the Sunshine State. Yes. So when we are talking about soccer, we're talking about athletics. We want to talk about racism. A Spanish politician, a lady from Paraguay, referring to the African players or the dark-skinned players as monkeys because their team lost to a team with a lot of black players on it. These are people who, when they come to the real America and see real white folks and experience white privilege, they call the white people racist. because the white folk do not consider them white. But when they come to black folks, then they too want to be white over us. Even in athletics. But I want to warn you and warn all of our young and up-and-coming sports personalities in soccer, basketball, whatever, as the black people begin to take over all the European teams, the insults, the racism, the chanting will increase. As they look at your salaries, your income, the big contracts going to the black boys, they can't take it. So I'm telling our young men and women that will be playing in Europe and everywhere else, if they tie your belt, it's going to get worse. It's never going to get better because as the black people keep taking over the different teams, the white kids are going to be upset. And they're going to throw tantrums. So if you think what's going on in FIFA is going to slow down or evaporate, you are in for a rude awakening. It's going to get worse. This World Cup, the research that came up says 67% of all the teams that play in the FIFA World Cup dominated by black folks. The French team, I didn't see not even one white person on that team. Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, Norway, you name it, they're everywhere. Even in Japan, the goalkeeper was black and Japanese. Scotland. Forget about Great Britain, England, forget it. Sweden. As we take over athletics, basketball, football, now soccer, the insult is going to be worse. It's not going to get better. And as these black boys begin to marry all the beautiful white girls and Spanish girls, it's going to get even worse. Not only are you taking their daily bread from their mouths, taking their sports and the big money, you are now taking their women. And to many of them, that's a no. They can't take it. The most dangerous black man is a dangerous, talented black man with a lot of money. And that is tripartite. You have money, you are talented, you are, I don't know, when you are famous. So what woman doesn't want fame, privilege, honor, wealth, luxury? And a man who is physically fit, athletically brilliant. For my white brothers out there, I would say, at this rate, you should leave your own with God. Leave your own with God. But yes, guys, let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods. Let us know. We'll talk about what you want to talk about. We have no Jeremiah God say he's just listening. Okay, that's good. So we want to be talking about things that are going on in Liberia or that have gone on in Liberia. One thing that we pledge as a social contract to you is the drug issues that go on in Liberia. We are not going to let off on that particular subject. Questions need answers. Questions need answers. For example, why is the only man in jail is the cargo executive who grounded Liberia's $19 million cocaine shipment? Who owns the drugs? How did they get in the country? Which point of entry did we use to bring the drug into the country? Was it flown into the country? If it were, which airport, which airline, and how were they given permission to land? When President Joseph Boakai came to office, he appointed his staff, and his deputy DEA director said, drug in this country has captured the state. He said the judiciary is deeply involved. The executive is deeply involved. The legislature is deeply involved. And permanent families in Liberia are permanently involved. If you have the three branches of government at the highest level are involved, the judiciary, the executive, and the legislative bodies of Liberia are involved, according to the deputy DEA. And some permanent families in Monrovia, that little Monrovia. And you say you are fighting drugs. The deputy LDEA said you are joking, as evidenced by this drug seizure. Every time they attempt to answer a question, they raise three new ones. The main culprits are outside the country. How they got out, nobody knows. One was in jail. How he left Monrovia Central Prison. Wow. It looks like you guys are waiting for the game to be over and you're all came over. So you can't come out here and tell me that the starting five, just the whole starting 1, 2, 3, this Junkies is number 5, the back line there. We got Jeremiah Gayman, he plays number 2. We got Sam Belly, number 7. We got a midfielder, Victor Nagbe, and then the striker, James D. Barkley. All came on the field at the same time. What's going on? I don't believe in conspiracy, but if you're from the Peabody area, I want to believe there's some boyo going on, some boyo stuff going on over here. Let me welcome all of you guys. The game is just over. My friend Remulus Lukaku, that I was rooting for Belgium, has just gone home in the 90th minute of the game. I'm feeling bad. So my only hope now is the other team, the last team from Africa that remain in the league, France. France. I look on the French team. They got 23 players, 19 guys from Africa and 4 from Europe. Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, we are having a great time. Today is Friday. We're going to allow you to let us know what catch your heart. That's what the Liberian people say. So after we leave, let us know what catch your heart. What is happening? Put it in the comment section. We'll talk about it. See, this man here, Mr. Cole Jr. from Upper Caldwell. Upper Caldwell. Musa Shariz, I'm watching you live from New Georgia, Gardnerville. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. But let me welcome our guest here. Without further ado, Jeremiah Gayman, if you could come on screen. I don't like when people are in the back. And then, I don't know, but it makes me feel suspicious. You come into the game, but then you're hiding behind something. You can't hear me, Nagbe, you can't hear me? Well, if you can't hear me, then you have to leave, go back to Kehleboe and come back. Oh, you from River G. You go and come back in. I can't hear you either. There you go, Jeremiah got it finally. I thought you were connected to Junkies. You guys are Buyo from Maryland County. Junkies, welcome to the show. Freedom FM.
Good evening. Good evening from my end here to every one of you. And good evening to our many listeners here in Liberia and here in the diaspora. Welcome. This is Freedom FM 87.9. And we are on the closing argument, the Friday's edition of the program. I'm Junkies Morris, and welcome to every one of you, Jeremiah Gayman, Sam Bele, James D. Barkley, Honorable Victor Nagbe. And I just want to recognize quickly, Mr. Jerome Gayman want to recognize our live stream followers here. At least since last night, unfortunately, we did not recognize their participation. I think it would be okay. We'll do that quickly. Then I can turn back. Yeah. Edwin Sibo is following. He says from Lokintown. Mozart Dennis is following and watching from Minnesota. That's the USA. Joseph Morley, Walen Kende is following. And Roberta Rachis is watching. Joma Jala is watching. Abraham Genesis Nyan Gompi is watching. Melvin Flomo is watching. David Gopa is also watching. Johnson Sintu Chile is following. Maximo T. Doru is following. Oliver Sako is following from Accra, Ghana. Maximo is following from Casablanca, that's Morocco. Joma Jala is here. Oliver Sako is following. Emmanuel Dix is watching us live. Martin Willie, Vinicius Junior Bar, Bombo Momo Tuma is following. Fan Opinion, Druide Daniel Emmett Hammer is also following. Flex Electronic is following. Musa Ishari watching us from New Georgia, Gardnersville. Terry T. Toll Jr. is watching from Caldwell. King Ashford Wright is also watching. And all of those watching, whatever means you're using, welcome. Keep watching us, and those following via the radio, keep listening. This is Freedom FM 87.9, and we are on the closing argument. My name is Junkies Morris. Back to you, Mr. Jerome Gayman, for control.
Well, I want to put you on notice, Mr. Morris. Today, you can see me. 3 years ago, I was adopted by my Fula families on Benson Street. So they called me, they gave me a Fula name. I am Alhaji Jerome Gayman. So today I am an official Bassa Fula man, and I'm in my full regalia. Jerome Alhaji. So don't mess with me today. Today I'm the highest. Alhaji.
Alhaji Jerome Gayman.
There you go, Alhaji. So let me welcome you guys. Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are from Peabody, your weather today is 76 degrees. If you are in Buchanan, it's 76, 78 degrees. If you are in Monroe, it says 77 degrees. Flash flood is expected with high risk of rain. It should be slightly raining today. And Lofa County, if you are in Lofa County, Kolahome, your weather should be 73 degrees and calm and cool. Now that we are all in the house, let me welcome our special guest, James Barkley. Honorable Barkley, welcome to the show. If you could turn your phone landscape like this, Mr. Barkley, that would be nice. There you go. There you go. Excellent, excellent, excellent. You know, your Barkley people, the Barkley people are from the Caribbean, so you should know all these things. You know, you're civilized people. Welcome to the show, Doc. Welcome to the show.
Well, Jerome, before we start, I just want to give a disclaimer. I accidentally sent the wrong link to most of my fans. So if there's a way that you would not allow those that are not guests to appear as guests, it was just a mistake. And please don't trouble them with questions. I just want to shout out to Pastor Jeremiah Gully. He's my assistant pastor, but I'm glad to be with you tonight. We are just here to do the people's work, and we will be open to speaking with Liberian people.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, usually on Fridays we do our weekend review, and we're going to do some of that. But Reverend Barkley has volunteered his time to sit on the hot seat. Usually, it is very difficult to get folks to come and sit on our hot seat. You got to be a man of courage, a man of conviction, a man of self-confidence, and I think that's why Reverend Barkley is. Reverend Barkley, welcome to the show. For those of us who don't know you, who is Reverend Barkley?
Okay, my full name is Reverend James Barkley, and I live in Pleasantville, New Jersey. I'm a pastor of the Full Gospel Church International, and my assistant pastor graciously appeared on the show tonight. He's at work. Reverend Gully, welcome. I'm a council member in Pleasantville. I was born in Sano County in the little village area they call Tajuwan. And I went to ENI Mission. I went to LSBDC. I was in Monrovia when the first interim government arrived. We were one of the few that announced the arrival of Bishop Dix. I stayed in Monrovia. I served as one of the directors at City Hall with Daniel Johnson. Then after that, I went to college, LU, and I graduated and became sales manager for ExxonMobil. Then I left Liberia in 2001. I've been living in the United States. Since I've been living in this country, it has been my priority to elevate Liberia in any way that I can. Every Liberian leader that came to this country, I try my best to elevate them because I believe the more I elevate the country, the more I increase my importance. I serve on the Democratic Committee in my area, one of the ranking members. But I use my time to speak across the aisle and speak to Republicans nicely, all in the interest of Liberia. I ran for district school board and rose to the rank of vice president of the district board of education. From there, I was petitioned to run for council. I'm on my second term. But I have specific interest in EULA because I believe EULA holds the key to success in Liberia. if we can manage this EULA and get it to be well adjusted, I think Liberia will fall in line. If you retrospect, there are a lot of past leaders and current leaders that came from EULA that are in Liberia now. So that's the little bit I can explain about myself, except you have further questions.
Excellent, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend James D. Barkley. He has a master's degree in public service leadership from Capella University, a master of social work from my alma mater, Rutgers University. He also has a professional life, former vice president, Pleasantville Board of Education, former secretary of Fellowship Christian Churches of Atlantic City and its vicinity, council member, president of Pleasantville City Council, first vice president, EULA Board of Directors. So he and I may have had something in common. I was elected vice president for administration for EULA way back then, along with Honorable Steve Bully. Steve Bully was elected vice president for, he was at the time executive vice president, and I was vice president for administration in charge of running EULA. But that as it may, you are the new kid on the block.
Thank you.
Welcome to EULA, and it's great. But I'm glad that you are here. You are playing a triple role. You are mayor of the cloth. You are a leader, community leader, and also an advocate for the people. So let's go to, you said that success and failures in Liberia, the keys is in the hands of EULA. What do you mean?
Look, Jerome, most of our leaders that are in Liberia came from the United States, most of them. They acquired their education from the United States. So it's mind-boggling to hear about the things that go on in Liberia. When people come from America and go to Liberia and leave the good things of America behind and adapt the things they're hearing from Liberia, I think EULA has to step up to the plate and start to form an honest partnership for good governance. We hold certain authority in our hands, which if we activate, can bring players in Liberia to full attention. We are the few group of Liberians that can speak and go to sleep well. We can sleep and take our pay. We can sleep and our electricity will not get caught. So there is no reason we should hesitate to help our country.
It looks like Reverend Barkley is having issue with his network. Let me go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, if you have the time, if you are at work, we would not like to jeopardize your work. So feel free to tune out and just listen. But yes, it's Sam Belly. If you have time, if you can opine on where Honorable Barkley left off, that would be great also. But let me go to Junkies. Junkies, welcome to the show. Welcome all of our friends and listeners by Freedom FM 87.9. Bring us up to speed on what's happening in the Republic of Liberia as we speak. What is trending?
Yeah, Mr. Gayman, can you be going ahead? Let me quickly attend to this emergency call.
Okay, that's good. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very busy Friday. It's all right. Today is Friday the 10th. So we are going to be touching on almost everything that happens. We call it week in review from Monday through Friday. So in your neck of the woods, Whatever is happening in your neck of the woods or what happened during the week, let us know. We will be able to talk about it. Today is Friday. It is what on your mind, or in Liberia, they say, what catch your heart? Put it in the comment section when the door is, or when the opportunity is giving you through our phone line. You can call in and let us know what is on your mind or what happened in your neighborhood, so we can have a chance to inform the world about what's happening in your neck of the wood. We are talking about current events. We do not discuss personal issues. We do not gossip. It has to be something that is authentic. It has to be something that is verifiable. It's something that we can fact check. But that's why you are here. This is your platform. Let me say hi to Iran Dopoh family. I'm watching from Grand Cape Mount County. Yes, the family folks from Grand Cape Mount. That's a very permanent name in Cape Mount. Welcome to the show, Mr. Family, Abraham Family. Thank you very much for tuning in. Is that Lesina Blami? I'm watching live from 540 Peace Island, Congo Town, District number 10. Solomon Baker Reeves, he says, I'm watching you live. Well, most likely you were watching from Staten Island, New York, but let us know where you were watching us from so we can recognize the folks in that area. Jackie Sumos, I'm following you live from Lower Bunk County, Sunny District. Thank you very much for tuning in. So as the name come in, we will also let you know, Caddy 63PK. She said, thanks, Mr. Gayman. I'm watching you from the UK. Thank you very much. I was in the UK. I was in Manchester there, and I had a great time. In fact, I'm not a Manchester fan, but I did go to, there you go, Old Trafford. I went to Old Trafford. You know, I'm a Barrow and Chelsea fan, but I'd had to pay my tribute to Old Trafford. Old Trafford, yes. I went to Old Trafford. There you go. There I am with a trophy. So yes, thank you very much for tuning in. Our friends from the UK. You are welcome. I had a great time there. Beautiful people, beautiful city. I had a great time. So guys, let us know what's going on in your neck of the woods, and let's talk. Mr. Dixon, just here. He said, I'm watching live from Monrovia. Mr. Alex K. Dixon, thank you for tuning in. This is great. We are having all of our friends and family tuning in. But again, watch your weather. Monrovia, if you saw what happened lately in Ghana, you are prone to flash flood, where it rains a little bit because of the way we build our homes, the way we develop our city, the way we maintain or lack of our cities. We are prone to flash floods. Garbage everywhere. All the drainages are full. We have people building the alleyway, people building the swamp, so the water has nowhere to go. And we talk about osmosis. Water will find wherever the space, a gravity will force the water out. So if you put garbage in your drainage system and the water cannot go through the drainage system, it will find a way out. And you just may not like the way the water will be gushing out. That's what they call flash flood. It just happened all of a sudden. Eddie Bellama say, I'm watching you live from a Propo corner in Toledo, Ohio. Toledo, beautiful city. I love Ohio. Once in a while, we leave beautiful Florida and we kind of venture out there, go to places like Ohio and see what it look like, what people in Ohio look like, what are they, real human beings. And you see them. You know, you go to New York, when you come from Miami or South Florida or anywhere, you think everybody else got horn on their head. And you go to New York, you think, well, how could people live like this, you know? But yes, Ohio is cool. I like to visit Ohio. The University of Ohio. Ohio State University, great school. Great athletes from that group, great school. Yes, impressive, Mr. Gayman. Energy goes where resistance is least. There you go. For those who are in the mechanical engineering or the sciences, that's the right terminology. You know, it will flow energy. You know, that's yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just sorry to our folks, just attending to an emergency call. Yes, you said we should bring our listeners up to speed.
That's
as
correct.
Yeah, happenings in country. Senator Edwin Melvin Snow have apologized officially for breaking the rules of the Honorable Liberian Senate that provide for the presiding officer to recognize an individual senator before you speak on the floor. That was not a barber by Senator Snow because of anger, I guess. And also to respond to the RREA boss. That was why he went overboard. So he have apologized officially and even apologized to Honorable Nagbe for comments used against Honorable Nagbe that were not in line with governance. So he have apologized and
what was the comment?
The issue of dwindling the consumption of alcoholic beverages.
I didn't ask you to be a diplomat. I said, what was his comment, quote unquote? What did he say?
All the way I'm trying to address it, Steve is a giving.
No. You see, when you quoting somebody, you gotta quote them verbatim.
Yeah, you're right. In the words of Senator Edwin Melvin Snow Jr., said Honorable Nagbe should reduce his alcohol intake. So he apologized for that. Maybe at the moment he felt offended. That was why he used that statement. So he had withdrawn that statement and other acts that were inimical to legislative or legisprudent. So Senator Snow, in my mind, that action is of good statesmanship, and these are some of the civilized attitude we expect from our leaders whenever they err. No one is infallible. There's a need that we quickly, correct our mistakes so that we move forward because we are not at war here. We are not at war here. All we are here to do is to exchange our intellect and we get the best out of all Liberians, but not to be at each other too. So I appreciate that step from Senator Edwin Melvin Snow. And other trending national issues.
Let me push back a little bit there, junkies. Can one unring a bell?
When you repeat.
Can one unring a bell? If you ring a bell, bing, can you unring the bell? Can you say something and take your word back? Is it possible?
Water waste the waste. The common Liberian way, water waste the waste.
Okay. Just want to make sure. You know what we said that when you deliberately say somebody, they say when you want to say something to somebody, take small alcohol so you can blame me on the alcohol, right? You look at me, you say this guy, that ugly guy, I would tell him really one day that he really ugly. Then you take your little, you go where you take your little beer, and you say, my man, you ugly to hell, man. In front of everybody, man, start getting me, he said, my man, I was drunk. That's what I did. I'm sorry I was drunk. But that liquor talk there. So Honorable Snow, you have been, from me personally, not the platform, but you have been in the business too long. You're too old.
It's still in the game.
Yeah, you've been in the business too long. You're too old as a person to insult another human being and then say, I'm sorry, I'm taking it back. No, I would say that's for public consumption, but it's unaccepted. But yes, go ahead, junkies. Continue the great work you're doing.
Yeah, and so the harsh statement coming from Herring Costa too to Senator Snow are all issues that are trending.
And
So
what did Costa say?
he used a parlance we use in Liberia that is condescending
Uh-huh.
against Senator Snow.
What did he
Uh,
say?
in the words of Herring
Costa.
Costa,
Uh-huh.
he said, "Shame on you, damn Sanama Swan. Thank God you can't summon me." So that was in line with condemning Senator Snow for his outburst against Honorable Samuel Nagbe. And the man said he was trying to correct Senator Snow, while at the same time he was using reckless verbiages against the senator. So these are some of the things we continue to talk about. Correcting wrong with wrong. It's not called for. So in my mind, Costa will have to slow down because what he did expose him. The fact that Senator Snow will muster the courage to say sorry. Then the man Senator Snow say sorry to, and Senator Snow having good conversation, friendly conversation, and reconcilable conversation, then it means that Henry Costa is left in space. So we have to be careful how we throw out expressions that are not really uh, satisfactory against our brothers and sisters. Like I keep saying, we are not at war. We are on a stage of intellectual exchange. Not just intelligence we are exchanging. The best one comes out. There's no need issue of insults. We still be reducing public offices to these kinds of outrageous and hoodlum behavior, causing public officials. When you disagree with individuals in government that are privileged to occupy a government position, even though yourself you are thinking of occupying those positions, or you also want to be one day minister or director, then the people that God gave the opportunity to be there, we don't want to give them respect, and we expect ourselves to excel to those positions. In my mind, we will have to change that around. We need to rebrand this country. We need to rebrand our politics. We need to have a sense of atonement when we are pushing our political agendas. Because, mind you, Liberia is a small environment. Liberia is so small to the extent that a huge cabal controlling the drug cartel in Liberia will be exposed of almost $20 million drug. It shows you how tiny the landscape of Liberia is and how we are intertwined related. So it's very difficult to think that you can keep secret here forever. It's very difficult to think that you can live here by yourself without needing other people and survive. It's very, very much difficult to go that way. We need one another. We need to respect one another. We need to change it around. Let's try another formula. Let's try another way that have not been tried. And let's see the results. Because we've been doing it this way, tearing one another down, breaking one another down. That Junkies Morris, the director down, no, he ain't supposed to be there. That Jerome Gayman, the director, the minister down there, no, why Jerome Gayman will can't be director or minister down there. So these mentalities will have to change because ever since we've been doing the same thing over and over, almost 200 years now, we have not achieved anything. We have not moved. We are just stagnant. The only thing that is moving, our age and the way the country, the number of years adding up since independence, are moving in terms of attitude. In fact, I want to believe that Liberia is even getting worse than it used to be in terms of how we live as a civilized people. For instance, My community that I live in, the Brav the 0508 community that's around the central bank terrain area there. Where you have the central bank, there, as we speaking, Mr. Gayman, anybody listening out there, you take a stroll around that place, you will see the young people out on the sidewalk that pedestrians should be using for passage. They are on the sidewalk smoking kush. They are taking in drug right on the main road, right side Central Bank, right side the Pavilion, right side the Baptist Church, right side the Water and Sewer Corporation. Rest, I'm telling you reality. I'm a leader in my community. I know what I'm telling you. This is something that we as a people have fought, but it takes the government's authority to at least instill fear in those young people so that they don't come back. But we have done our best to weed them out of the community, and they are insistent that where they go and purchase their drug, they don't want to take the drug there. They will come in the communities and be on the streets and taking a drug. I give you this information with authority, Mr. Gayman. Even in the day, the young people are on the streets. In my community, I'm speaking for my community. In the day, young people are on the street, on the sidewalk, smoking drug. Police people passing by them, Mr. Gayman. So if we can change things around, Mr. Edwin Snow, Senator, all your money that you get, I think it was John Fitzgerald Kennedy who once said that a free society that can help the many that are poor, it cannot save the few that are rich. So when we feel satisfied, when we feel relaxed, when we think that all is well and we have arrived, and those out there, we don't care about them because they have elevated us, it's still a threat for our survival. Because in the community, Mr. Gayman is the only rich man there. And everybody around Mr. Gayman, it is difficult for each of those family members to even get cassava to eat. Mr. Gayman, what do you think will happen when there is no source of income around that terrain? Your residence becomes the new source of income. You will be terrorized on a daily or minute basis because any of those uh, uh, people who don't have it in the community that are living around you, any of them that feel hungry, the only place they think about going to bus, pantry, and take back or rest from and other food stuff will be your pantry. So we need to open up. We need to forget about the issue of me, myself, and I. Most of these people speaking, most of them don't have integrity. They will even want to go to that level. So, like you're saying, Mr. Gayman, Senator Snow stayed on in the game. Mr. Gayman are the people normal routine. The people they come with that fly by net philanthropism, and our people fall to it, elect them to office. They use deception to continue to hold our people hostage, and they hold on to power perpetually. These are the things that are happening. So all of us, we need to press these people, press them hard so they do what is needful in the interest of our people. You cannot have in Central Morovia, because we are still on this drug issue, you cannot have in Central Morovia young people who should be the future of this country, young people who should protect the flowers that will be planted in the middle of the road, young people who should be able to protect the central bank so that there can be any intrusion or invasion of the central bank of burglary. They are the people surrounding the central bank with drug while we are at the airport talking about $19 million drug, when the drug is in Central Morovia, in the city itself, the city center itself, when the young people are all on the streets and nobody wants to do anything about it, we continue to call on the government to step in, because only the government has authority to do what is right for those people to live our communities and give us peace of mind. If you, in fact, as a community leader, decide to institute measures like establishing wash team, all of those institutions will need the backing of the government because there could be a situation where assuming without admitting, somebody who could be mistaken for a criminal, and that situation could fall on the leadership of the community, and all of those skepticism are there. So because of that, people are reneging to form watch team and vigilante team to secure the communities at night. So the government will need to open up and allow the citizens themselves to participate in government. It is called for under Article 5 of the Liberian Constitution. So when the government cannot open up for all citizens to participate, like at the community level, these are voluntary services that community dwellers take onto themselves to save the environment and by extension, help provide security for the government. So we urge the government, we urge Senator Snowden to forget about this political bigotry, this hoarding and pulling, and the thing they fought for came to power and they can't understand themselves. They will need to relax and engage the process with sobriety and piety. With that, they will make the rightful decisions to change Liberia around, because they were elected to change Liberia around. They were elected to change Liberia from the state of anarchy to the state of prosperity.
So let me hold you there. So taking it from that background, what do you make of Lima Bowie's assertion that their performance and the performance reviews does not equate to them being called honorable men and women because their performances have been dishonored? Hence, she says the name honorable should be earned and not conferred. That's a tough one.
Yeah, for me, Mr. Gayman, I have a different view to that. She said, in the words of the Nobel laureate, that honorable title or titles are earned, they are now conferred. I disagree with that. Intellectually, it is a flaw to say that. I think she has some issues with lawmakers. That's why the emotion took over the reasoning. And the reasoning here is, you cannot say to me that people who were elected by their constituencies at the level of the Honorable House of Representatives should not be accorded a handle as honorable. They were elected to the Honorable House of Representatives. Why do we call those elected at the U.S. Congress, whether the lower house or upper house, as congressman or congresswoman? So it is a normal. That is not an issue. For that, I think I will consider that triviality.
But let you.
Yes, my position.
Let's say some could say you are splitting hair. You are elected to the House of Representatives or to the House of Senate. That's fine.
The
you
honorable.
No, listen.
Go ahead.
You were elected as a senator. You were elected as a member of the House of Parliament or House of Representatives. She's saying that is it. Beyond that, you have to earn your title. I can call you, for instance, a man who was a child soldier, who butchered women, who opened pregnant women's stomach, was elected to the House. Okay? Yeah. You expect me, whose mother, whose wife, whose daughter was butchered, to look at you and call you an honorable man? No, you are a representative, you are a senator but you are not an honorable man in the eyes of your community. That's what
So
she's talking about.
yes, I get that. So taking emotions out and looking at the reality and looking at the facts and looking at what it should be. A man who murdered people, who murdered people in the first place should not be allowed to whatever means, whether to campaign against or to speak against or to deny, should not be allowed to run for such office, because that office is a representation of the elderly, the youth, the women, the children, clergymen, and other prominent citizens. So that honorable title is conferred upon you because of those you represent as their deputy. It is not you as an individual that that honorable title is specifically for. That honorable title is for the office of District Number 2, Peabody Sorokan in Myean County. It is not for Junkies Morris. So Junkies Morris occupying that office, man take. And where I differ with Madam Bowie, I thought she would have been very specific in digesting this particular comment. My take is how Junkies Morris handles the office of District Number 3 or District Number 2, Peabody Sorokan, Myean County, is what allows the honorable title upon Junkies Morris or on Junkies Morris. If Junkies Morris as an individual behaves legisprudently, he should be given that handle honorable, because that area, that environment is for good manners. That environment is for honorable doings, honorable action.
Okay, Moro, let me hold you there. Let real
Yes,
quick so I can hold you. Yes.
If junkies does not do what is honorable, for instance, peddling drug that we continue to see, and when some people are called to testify after accusing some lawmakers, they fall off and scheme on Liberian people. These are all of the crises that we are facing. So let us be specific. If Junkies Morris is honorably proceeding in the office of representative, he should be accorded honorable title. If he's not proceeding the way he should proceed as an honorable, that title should be stripped off and he should be called his name, like we are doing to Representative Yeke Koluba now, and almost everybody calling him Yeke Koluba, and in fact, he's not at the level of the House of Representatives.
Yeah, but then you have to be you have to also be cognizant of the fact that he was once an honorable man elected to the House, and when he retires, he is still a former honorable man of the House. Now let's go to the greatest crime that could be committed in the Republic of Liberia. You are elected to represent the interests of your folks. They send you from Kehleboe to represent their interest, and then you neglect them. You fail to deliver. Wouldn't that be considered a crime? That you pledge, you put up your right hand, you say, so help me God, that you are going to represent your folks to the highest office. You're going to defend them. You're going to bring economic development. You bring education. You can bring healthcare. And once you get elected, 10 out of 10 representatives and senators, once they get elected, they move to Monrovia and don't even go to their districts. Isn't that neglect? Shouldn't we strip you of our title of being honorable? Because you have not done the honorable thing, you are not representing those who sent you there, and you are a failure. Why should we call you honorable Morris? When you got elected a representative of Kehleboe district, and you move to Monrovia, never go back to this city, the people don't see you until sparingly when it's time for election, you show up. Isn't that dishonor?
I think that is a dishonorable posture, because the legislature passed a joint resolution that later became a law that provides for 3 separate breaks, constituency breaks. When session opens January, in March, session closed for the first time. It opens around July, it closes for the second time, it opens somewhere around September, October, and it closes for the last time for the budget deliberation and onward passage of the budget before the next fiscal year, because the fiscal year now have been rearranged and adjusted to January, from January to December. So those 3 different constituency breaks, they are intended for you to go visit your people. So instead going to visit your people, at least if that is small garden you get behind your horse you pay in Peabody, Seleke district there in Tiritapo, so that you can be watering the garden, and you and the children, you'll be picking the bitter and the pepper. You'll be interacting with few constituencies who may have pressing issues that you could attend to, whether through financial handout or through advocacy that is your responsibility as a lawmaker. So if you would take that time to go to bar and be rubbing shoulder with the big celebrities around the world at Burj Khalifa, then where are we headed? Then how do we refer to you as an honorable man? Are you representing the people of Dubai? Will the people of Dubai re-elect you? So to be honorable is to do the honorable thing. First is to work in line with your legislative responsibility. As an honorable man, don't fake the people, don't lie to them. There is no single individual in Liberia that does not have finance that will come and lie to you to tell you that they will pay university, they will pay road, they will pay schools, yet they will pay hospital. It's not possible unless that person had been a businessman or a businesswoman that have accrued so much wealth to invest in such projects. Those projects are government initiatives. They are government funded projects. So lawmakers, after coming from playing fee in 3, 4, 5, 7 years time, you building universities, those are issues that call for concern. You are not going back to your constituencies to give them more scholarship so as to expand the intelligence of your constituents. You are not going back there to provide the enabling environment for health opportunity to be given to the people, but you are using their own money to build your properties, like in the case of university, that you as an individual, you do not have the financial wherewithal to sustain a university, because paying professors, paying master degree holders, all of those will have to be captured. Maintaining the university in terms of sanitation and hygiene, that is another issue. Maintaining a university in terms of equipment, that is another issue. Maintaining a university in terms of the quality intellectuals that you bring to provide knowledge for the people, that is another issue. So these are things that we will need to step in and bring out to our people for them to understand that Mr. Jerome Gayman does not have the capacity as an individual to build a university and sustain it for it to remain premium. He does not have that capacity as an individual because we do not know him to be a very wealthy man. He's just enjoying his cool, middle class life and cool. But he does not have the capacity to build a university that will need to be sustained perpetually. Those are realities we will need to beat in the minds of our people, because these are some of the reasons why we have people becoming dishonorable. For instance, how will somebody refer to Jerome Gayman or Junkies Morris as an honorable man or as honorable men when we are involved, and let's say when we are involved with drug peddling, when we are involved with human trafficking, when we are involved with, as soon as somebody disagree with all, then we start lynching in a common Liberian way. We are irresponsible. Then we expect people to call us honorable. Yes, the people may be fooled by the few cups of rice that you may bring at that moment and unfortunately vote you in. But how you carry yourself in the office, that's how you are referred to. If you are in the office and selling drugs, that Article 44 that talks about contempt of the legislature that they can be using is wrong. We need to tell them in their faces. It's wrong when somebody suspect one Representative John Morris trafficking drug somewhere in the Bannersville area in District 13 and decides to blow whistle as a whistleblower. That person should be given the protection. That person should be given the necessary security if we think we mean well for our country to change. Then with that, there will be other brave giants, men and women that will come after to unveil these cartels that are operating under a huge cabal around the world, for which drug is just all around the place like aqua life, mineral water, plastic. Drug is almost in every community right now. In fact, Mr. Jerome Gayman, because of the drug issue, right close to my residence. In fact, I have one of the nights that we arrested on our own as concerned citizens, and since it is our community and we are leaders in the community, I have one of the knives. I will take the picture and send it to you. We arrested it from one of those young men who they gathered in their numbers. Even last night, they carry on another operation. Unfortunately, some of us who were not present, it was the young people that were around. Right in the community around the Central Bank area where you have ERU officers with weapons, the young people are brave because of the substances that they are taking in. They are brave to pass right in front of the people that get gone, to harass people, take their phone from them and take their belongings. I'm telling you this for a fact from my community. So you see where we are and where we are headed. And our leaders are still tight-lipped. Our leaders are still playing don't care. They don't have time. They are up there, they're in opulence and living with extravaganza. They think all is well. And they don't want to go back to our people. So these people giving them position under democratic and parliamentary proceedings, the minority have the say and the majority takes the deal. We agree. But if the majority elects the wrong person, like was in the case of former Representative Yeke Koluba, that individual, once that individual is not performing honorably, that individual is dishonorable. It is clear that that individual is dishonorable by international standard. So whether that individual voted for with 10,000 votes margin or 200,000 votes margin, if your attitude, because here, Mr. Gayman, the people here, they are shameless, most of them. They don't have the impetus and the infantus to resign whenever they go against societal norms. They do not have that discipline. They are very much insensitive to their consciences. To see an individual resigning from position, I gave you as an example before I send the control back to you. When the snow scandal came out, the snow gate concerning the undressing of female for the exchange of pecunium. That situation, if it was somewhere in the United States, are you going far? It was somewhere in Aricles, that MP, that member of parliament will resign. But the brothers here, they don't have the scruples. They don't have the spines. They don't have the balls. They are dishonorable people, most of them. They do not have conscience. So they do these things, get away with it. leave from one constituent to another and using the ignorance of the people. That's why they will continue to bypass pumping more money in the budget for education to be of quality, because when our people are educated, these kind of chastising we do to them will be on the increase and they will be confused. In fact, they may not even see public positions. So they think that to have political advantage, it will be good to keep the people under there. It will be good to keep the people in ignorance, and they always come and bring simple things like flyers, to the extent that Mr. Gayman, some aspirants can be making flyer with people for the flyer. They may come for your flyer to carry and give you popularity and give you more votes. But your flyer, your t-shirt, you bear with the man, you misbehaving on the man, you showing arrogance and pomposity. That's the kind of country we live in. So, Mr. Gayman, we need to expand this debate. We need to expand it. It should not be about politics alone. Let us, in the interval, continue to inform our people that when you vote for people who are not behaving honorably, you call them by their names. With that, they will start to have sense. When they call in their other friends honorable who are doing better, then they themselves will try to do better to be called honorable too, because they need honorable. It can worry them with the real one. I think.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a few minutes. We got about 20 minutes to go here with Freedom FM. So we are going to open the line and take some calls. There's a lot of things that are happening during the week that we want to talk. We can't talk all, but the one that catch your heart that is important to you, we want to discuss. We are talking about everything. There are so many we can't even the survey from Centel. Bribery is back on the rise. 52% of the Liberians say they experienced bribery in the last year or so. 2 in 3 witnessed corruption. 67% of Liberia witnessed corruption in the last year. Trust in the judiciary has collapsed also. 64% of the folks do not trust the judicial system. 94% of Liberians see corruption as a cancer. So listen, let's think about it. But let's open the line. Let's hear what catch the people heart. Let's talk about what's happening to them. Let us not be the talking heads. Let them talk too. We're not talking about our own, talk your own. Let's see what's on your mind this July.
Sure. Yeah, the late representative Nagbe said you tell your own, I tell my own. So call us on those numbers on 0776 104 104, 0776 104 104, 086 500 104, 086 500 104. Our diaspora callers can call us on +231 886 500 104, +231 886 500 104. This first caller online one, your name and where are you joining us from? Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Marco Gayman. So, welcome, Mama, to
No, Jerome Gayman.
Yeah, Jerome Gayman. Okay, thank you very much. Welcome, Mama, to they trust. Because you last 17 years, people will be on the street. That they trust is not Mama. That they put them, the political.
Who are you going on the street?
Oh, we are more than 1,000. We're getting on the street. You last 17.
On a what banner? On a what banner?
Oh, well, on banner.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. So, that is drop in it. I will still get on the street for because the government are saying power. They come look up more drop on the street. Where is that person? We have been drop. And so they only have 1,000 million drop at the airport. The 2.2 million and they want to put arrested to the airport. I expose them today. And they threaten the investigation. They will go back back there. They will go back the way. They'll be doing their position, and we know who bring it to us here. We know who honor this to us, who send it out of the country. So we'll get the international community July 17, which is next week Friday, to tell the world where our placard that is not that Baka be or he must be, and the trust that they woman is in the international community he said that he is drug business. So we not trust him. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Victor Ba. That was Victor Ba. RG Jerome Gayman, sister Jacob.
Yeah, that's my full sister.
Yeah, full sister. So call us on those numbers. Our desperate callers are encouraged to call us on our WhatsApp number +231 86 500 104 +231 86 500 104. Call us and be live on the closing argument here on Freedom FM 87.9. Mr. Jerome Gayman, we have this call online too. Your name and where you calling from?
Junkies, Murray. What's up, bro?
You can see.
Man, have you on your show, man? Hi to you, man. It's been a long time. I heard your voice.
Yeah.
This is Edmoka. I remain the visually impaired pushing for the return of President. We are
welcome,
Carnival Concern Liberian for Justice.
Welcome, great man.
Thank you. Let me talk about the political revenue a little bit. Political revenue topic. He has a press conference today calling on his president to reshuffle. So we call that as a distraction. Because as a party chairman, you have access to the president. So if you think that there's a need to take some people out and pull another one in, you should have gone to the president and discussed it. But if he decided to come open to the public, you needed to point out those ministers that are not performing. But you needed to be made. You needed to come to the public and be afraid. Yeah, all the minister of education is not performing. You need to go. Minister of Justice is not performing. Holy IG is not performing. You need to go. And the recommendations are gone on the desk of the president. But for him to come and run, and then after that he's telling us that he's going to be making recommendations to the president, that's a sure. In my mind, you can change the entire government. President Buhari will not be able to deliver because he is not result-oriented president. Because you're the president, you make the mission to work. 2 years and a half, you are travel around the world. We have not seen you attracting anything to the country. How can the minister work? You got a minister of agriculture. What did you get the minister of agriculture to work? You got minister of education. What you get to that institution to work with before you make them to work? So we felt that it was some noise, that he just came to make some noise. In fact, he was one of the first person in the United States that protested for Georgia. So now he got his win. He realized with it now. He went for the other colleague, George, to visit him. But I know this one, he has put his thing into mess and they are going to drag it. So when it comes to the drug issue, like we have said, with our number, we want to hear the financier. We want to hear those that brought that cocaine to this country, those that bear the exportation of the drug. Now, by play, all of the names that we are hearing, these are all by play. These are facilitators. Who facilitated who? If you carry facilitator to court, what about the main doer? So we are asking the government that we want to know the main doer that behind this $19.2 million that was bought to be exported out of the country. If the police IG said that was on the point, so that meaning the drug is here, and we need to know those that behind the expectation of that drug out of our country. Thank you, Jongi.
Thank you. That Monka, the visually impaired for the return of President. We are this caller on line 3. Welcome. This is the closing argument here on Freedom FM 87.9. No, this is Jerome Gayman. Yeah, Honorable James D. Barkley is also on there from the United States, New Jersey.
Good evening to him. My name is Stephen Chris. I'm calling from the regime because history. What is on my mind is I think the bullet issue is serious. And it is done that our president needs to be impeached because of the incompetency people threatening our sovereignty. I think he needs to be impeached. He failing us. He already failed us. The bullet issue is dying and is serious. So I think he needs to be impeached.
Okay.
He failed already.
Okay. Thank you. That caller is calling for the impeachment of President Boakai based on the border situation with Guinea. This caller back on line one, your name and where are you calling us from? Closing argument.
Junkie in the relative panelist. How are you? My name is Fred. I call from Brisbane, Australia. How are you guys doing?
Welcome to the platform. By God's grace, we are okay, I'm sure.
No worries. Thank you very well. Yeah, so basically, I want to speak to the drugs issue. There are a couple of things that are missing into this whole investigative process. A couple of things have come out since the time the drugs were arrested. First thing is that I want to say that we have an issue with the drug law itself. Now, the drug law as was passed by the legislature has an issue. It does not penalize ownership of drugs. While it penalizes possessions, importation, and consumption, and that's the problem we have with the drug law. Beyond that, when you look at the law that created the LDA, it calls for a multidisciplinary team. Now, everyone who has been appointed to that agency have all been ex-police officers. Now, ex-police officers do not understand the legal implications when it comes to arresting drugs and prosecution of drugs. And this is why we are having a lapse. Also, I want to speak lastly to the issue regarding the photograph that surfaced regarding the vice president. Many people are saying because the photograph surfaced, it means that the vice president must be involved in some sort of connection with the drug. No, the photograph itself does not prove anything. It's just circumstantial in itself because there is no proof that the vice president engaged or communicated with Tony, for example, in this case, to procure or transship the drugs. So in the event that the president would be accused, it means there must be further evidence and investigation into that process.
Fred, and that's why the investigation continues. The investigation continues.
Yeah, still continuing in that sense, Fofana. So whether there's a link between, say, Michael Brown and Tony, for example, but even if Michael Brown, for example, was being involved, Michael Brown is a suspect. Tony definitely is not for now in this case. So it means that the investigators need to go beyond that. And police officers, ex-police officers cannot do this. And this is where the lapses are in the law. And I just feel that we need to go beyond that and get the right people to do the job. Because if you go to the LDA, it calls for lawyers to be appointed to the LDA. Have we seen lawyers being appointed to the LDA? Absolutely no. It calls for doctors to be appointed to the LDA. Have we seen them? No. It calls for health practitioners to be appointed. We have not seen anyone. The only individuals who we see to that DA are people who are served in the police before. And this is why we have a problem.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll leave it there. We'll leave Fred there. Fred is from Australia. He called from Australia. We'll leave Fred there and go back to Mr. Gayman.
Yes.
We stay at Wilcox.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest. We'll be going back to the guest. The reason we are taking calls now is we got 5 more minutes to be with Freedom FM. And we want our friends and listeners from Freedom FM to put in their calls after they leave. We'll go back to our politics and our public policy issue discussing with Honorable Barkley. So for the next 4 minutes, we will take calls. If not, we will go back and...
back on line one, I got this caller. Hello, your name and where you calling us from?
Good evening, Mr. Morris.
Good evening.
This is John S. with that calling from Iron Factory.
Welcome.
What on my mind tonight is Mr. Morris, our president, when the capital building issue happened, he told us that there was a hurricane that went down that capital building. And since then, he has never come out to tell us who went that capital building. Now they Guinea, Lofa, talking about. He said everything was okay. From that day, we are not hear anything from him. I want for him to come here and tell the people about what unfolding about this team that I just named for the drug issue. For me, I think nothing will come out of it because there's a big hand on this drug issue. So we are just saying it, but nothing will come out of it. So my main point is that the president tell us about the capital dairy issue and the Guinea Liberia issue. Let me come out and tell the Liberian people so that you can know what to do, whether the land is for all or it's not for us. That's what my mind tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll leave you there and go to line 2. Hello, your name and you joining us from where?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. The new remains Thomas F. Jota calling from Johnson River and district number 2, Motorado County.
Have your say.
Let me appreciate you for your topic when the evening, especially the brother in the studio, the Gayman and the others. For your topic when the evening. My content have to do with remark concerning about the critics she carry on the love, the honorable man into the hustle journey. I think a statement she made, especially the first she made it on Facebook. Why would you be able to criticize people that they are not determined to be honorable? And at the end of the day, after you come on Facebook and use your reminder, you wake up, you took children and carry them to the same people that you have criticized to your own way. At the end of the day, why would the lawmaker be able to accept you to enter in their building and be able to, because they are not people to call them honorable. With them be able to accept you. So for the children for her to carry the children and the lawmaker were not able to accept them, she was the cause of the particular thing that happened yesterday to the children. I think sometimes, especially the position she is holding, especially peace, love, peace and war from 2011, Nobel prize of 2011. I think sometimes if you want to come on with some statement, sometimes you got to be able to think the position you are holding first. They are lawmakers, however, it's a title. Whenever it's people or elected people, even though somebody, if they are doing some wrong thing, you can put every one of them under the board to get take them, say, oh, they are not serious people, they are not people to call them lawmakers. I think for me, in that moment, she's playing for whatever she did to the lawmaker. I think she will have to be able to apologize to the people, at least, so we all can be able to face the country in a unique way, and we all can be able to benefit the country. Thank you very much for your touching point in the evening.
Thank you. So we'll leave it there. Mr. Gayman.
Thank you very much. It is 7 o'clock on the dot, or 1 minute to 7 on the dot. We won't take any more call. We allow the station to identify itself and your pattern comment, Mr. Morris.
And so this is Freedom FM 87.9. I'm Junkies Morris, the host here on Freedom FM 87.9 of the closing argument. Mr. Jerome Gayman was on today. Councilman James D. Barkley, our special guest. Myean from True FM 96.1 is there. And other panelists. Have a good weekend and a splendid night. My name is Junkies Morris, and I'll be back here on Monday as we bring you a fresh week edition of the program, The Closing Argument, here on Freedom FM 87.9. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Those that will be listening by way of radio, we say welcome to Care Radio. We say welcome to Freedom FM Radio. We want to say welcome to Truth FM 96.1 in Nimba, Grambassa, River G, Sino. I want to say hi to everybody in Wapolu County, in Lufa, everybody that tuning in from the UK, everybody tuning in from Ghana. We have our special guest here, Honorable James Reverend. Let me make it clear. Reverend, I think he preferred the Reverend first. Reverend James Barkley. Reverend, welcome back to the show. Hopefully this time we are in good hands with technologies. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much again. It's a pleasure to be back.
We were in the middle of a conversation and then we had some technical difficulties. And you were talking about the role of EULA, okay? We're talking about the fact that you said EULA has the key to our success or failure in the Republic of Liberia. You wanted to expand on that because to some would say Eula have been in this government, Liberian business, since 1973, 74, 75, all the way. They have been in the vanguard of leadership in Liberia, from Charles Taylor, Thomas Woweyu, they led Dr. Sawyer, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Samuel Jackson, Marcus Matthews, Deacon Fowler, Clay, you name it. All of these folks. So Eula has been there forever. What is new?
Well, I want to thank you first. I want to give homage or recognition to our predecessors. They set up a great organization, and which, if it is managed properly, it can deliver help to our people. Before becoming a member of Eula, I hosted most of the past leaders in Atlantic City: Tom Woweyu, Honorable Bagbala, Jesse Cooper, Anthony Kessley. I hosted all of them in Atlantic City when there was conflict in Eula. Then I realized how powerful Eula is. Then I thought to myself, the only way I can play an effective role is to become a part of Eula. And today I have risen to the position of first vice chairman of the board of directors. I want to narrow down the issue of the drugs that were seized at the airport. This is one of the areas that Eula can come in to lend a helping hand to the people of Liberia. Most of the time when people hear about Eula, they think it's an antagonistic organization to government. Instead, Eula is a partner to the people of government, partner to the presidency. All that Eula will be doing starting from today is standing his ground, recognizing good, recognizing bad, calling them out. When it comes to the issue of the drugs investigation, the pace that is taken has risen great concern in the leadership of Eula. And we are now gathering ourselves to seek help for our people back home, because we believe that the government has not admitted, but they cannot handle this thing alone with the pace that the population is expected to take. So from this point, we are going to lend a helping hand to engage our international partners to see if they can get involved, because drug issue is an issue of war on the country. If you are aware, the United States, Donald J. Trump doesn't take it as anything easy. He declares war on it immediately. And this is how we view it, but we are going to come from the point of collaboration to provide help when it comes to the investigation, to make sure the information is received by our international partners.
So talk to me about when you say you want to reach out to our international partners. Liberia is basically 204 years old this July, 2026. From the arrival of the settler 1822 to 2026 is exactly 204 years. And Liberia have been accused for the past 204 years as 204 years as a begging nation. Yet you claim to be independent. You are 200 years old, and you are still saying that you are going to appeal to the international partner to come and do for what you were elected or as a sovereign state to do.
It's very interesting that you reminded us about that. And I concur with you that Liberia is of age. But when it comes to seeking international collaboration, that does not take recognition of your independence, because let me just direct you to what is happening between President Trump and NATO. President Trump needs the help of his partners in Europe. So the same trend will be taken, seeking help from our partners in the United States with this investigation. That will not diminish our age or our independence. We will still remain an independent country, but we say at this level of the investigation, our international partners need to be involved from a neutral point of view to give assistance to Liberia.
Give me how would that happen? Give me a gist of how this would happen, because I don't know whether Eula have the resources to appeal what happens if you appeal to the FBI or you appeal to an independent commission, and the commission says it will take us about $1 million to take on this project to do it effectively? Is EULA in a position to lend a hand, or you said to form collaborative partnership? Is EULA in a position financially, economically to be a partner, or you just want to ask for assistance just as the government is doing?
So as you are aware, we are in the midterm season in the United States of America. Everything that caused the shock is the power of voting. We are going to reach out to those that have authority in this country to hear Liberia's case and provide help. Now, let me just remind our listeners, when it comes to drug issues, it's of international concern. We as Americans will make our case to our lawmakers that if drugs are being transited through Liberia, then there is an indirect threat to the United States of America. So we have means of making our leaders to hear us when we speak to them. Of course, EULA does not have the finance, but EULA has the influence. There are several members of EULA that have influence with the lawmakers in the various states. And we are encouraging them to reach out. I want to make this assurance to you tonight that the first meeting that will be held, you will be the first to know about it after that meeting, and your show will receive the pictures. Because EULA has the potential, EULA has the ability, and EULA is going to do that.
Excellent, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, my guest today is Reverend James Bagley. He's here. He's first vice president for EULA, and he's also a council member for Pleasantville, New Jersey, in the Atlantic City area. He has a lot of experience in management when it comes to managing government affairs. So he's concerned about what everybody else is concerned about, the drug issues in Liberia. But let me get your take on the fear that most people have, and some say will just confirm, is that the state has been captured by the cartel. And I'll give you an evidence. When President Joseph Boakai came to power, the gentleman that he appointed as deputy DEA director did an assessment. And based on the statistics and everything else he says fighting drugs in Liberia will be very difficult. It will take courage and boldness. He said because based on his assessment, the judiciary is deeply involved. The executive is deeply involved. The legislative branch of government, the three branches are deeply involved, and some permanent friends and families in Liberia are involved. If President Boakai intended to actually take action, it has to be bold and has to be courageous. So now that we've seen what's happening here, we see the $19 million drug. Nobody is talking about how the drug got into the country, who brought it into the country, how it got into the country, what were the entry point. All of these things are not being addressed. So have the state been captured? How will you, as a EULA person, address or attempt to address the drug issue from the armpits of the cartel?
So speaking from the perspective of the board of directors of EULA, the first thing we are trying to do, the next thing we are trying to do is to allay the fear that EULA is set to attack incumbent president. We are going to be partner with the government once it avails itself. Because from my practice of leadership, my understanding of leadership, even presidents themselves can be held politically hostage by their surroundings. So this is where EULA will be coming in to provide the hope to the president and even to our people. Now look, Mr. President, if you have the courage to do this, we are here to support you. So we are not just coming in to criticize the government, but we are coming to offer help, because this fight is all hands on fight. And this is why we are calling upon all our diaspora partners, when they hear the bell of a joint meeting, to assemble so that we can strategize together. The whole idea of forming little mushroom of organizations and going in various directions does not help our people. The bona fide advocacy group in the diaspora is EULA. And now all the other little bag holding organizations, because we mean business. We give the government the opportunity to work along, or we give the citizens the opportunity to work along, because the drugs issue needs to be eradicated in Liberia.
Well, let's look at the EULA's reputation, whether it is rightfully earned or deservingly so. What has been EULA's track record for implementing successive or successful public policy in Liberia that you can point to? And since you came into power, what are some of the things that you have done or intending to do to allay some of those fears and bring in build confidence?
So, first of all, the current administration of EULA has taken a multi-dimensional approach when it comes to Liberia. We have incorporated the aspect that has to do with infrastructure development. EULA is now undertaking a building project in the Pipeline Road area that the president will speak on. But what EULA did a couple of years ago, during the All Liberian Conference that was jointly hosted by the Liberian government and EULA in 2019, we signed an agreement, we reached a tentative agreement with the then Justice Minister, Mossadegh, in New York. At that time, I went there with a delegation of police team from my city, and we signed that agreement on EULA's stewardship to launch a training program which would have either brought police officers to the United States or take trainers to Liberia. And when we had a meeting with the Justice Minister at the time, it was followed up by a visit by the IG to Pleasantville. So EULA has the potential and the will to help our people. Nevertheless, we took a little lapse, but we are regaining our pace, and we want to assure our people the EULA they know about, the EULA they've heard about, is ready to work alongside with them.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining, let me reintroduce our guest. Is Reverend James D. Bagley, MS, a master's degree in public service leadership from Capella University, a master of social work from Rutgers University, former president, Pleasantville Board of Directors, Board of Education, former secretary fellowship of Churches of Atlantic City and the Environment and its environs, council member, president, Pleasantville Council City Council, first vice president, EULA. Let's talk about your experience in governance. You are a member of a city council, which is a very structured system. Liberians are known for working for some of the more prosperous companies in the United States, and they do well when they are supervised. But when they get to Liberia and given the chance to be the progenitor of public policy, 99.9% fall flat on their faces, and they return to status quo. What would be some of the things that you, through EULA, would be proposing to curtail and reduce that?
So I listened to you and Junkie,
Yes.
And when you were discussing the performances of the lawmakers in Liberia, it reminded me when I hosted the lawmakers from Liberia in Atlantic City in 2024. The speaker was here, and then I mentioned there's something that happens in the United States, and we don't take it for common. When you are elected, every year you go for training. That is an important component of our leadership structure that I have not been hearing about. When I introduced that at the hotel, one of the lawmakers said, but we got it in Liberia. I said, yeah, but having it in the book is different from implementing it. So I think if our people are trained after election and they are trained annually, they will know what constitutes corruption. They will know what has the semblance of corruption. They will know how corruption works when they come to approach you. For me, I know it because, take for example, if I'm at a wedding and I see my fellow councilmen coming and I know we are about to reach a quorum, one of us will have to leave. No matter who it is. If I receive a gift of certain magnitude, I must declare that gift. And even maybe donate it to a charitable organization. So these are the trainings we take, and when our people are not trained, then they unintentionally or willfully become corrupt. So I think training our leaders is the most important thing that we need to start with in Liberia to change the structure.
Let's talk about training, because I know I would tell you straight up, point blank, Liberia does not lack training. Every day you look around this country, Liberians at NYU, at Columbia University, at Ohio State, at Rutgers University, at the police department, at the FBI getting trained, and they are going back. And when you go into their offices, you will see it all on the wall. They've been trained from everywhere. And now, like you talked earlier about training the trainers. Now they have been trained as trainers. They're now supposed to go and train other folks. And they have all of these things, but yet and still, the performances are so bad. I was just reading the statistics here from Centel. And what Centel says here, it is damning. And it says, confidence, the main key, their confidence in the judicial system has collapsed. About 74% of the people have experienced fraud and corruption in the last year or so. People have experienced bribery to move ahead, to get basic stuff done. You go to apply somewhere or to submit something, you got to pay somebody to move you ahead of the line. If you went to the bank, you will stand in line. If you're from the United States or other places, you are accustomed to standing in line. You will stand in line. Everybody keep passing you because people are bribing to move up the line. So it is not about the training. These people are trained. They are bankers, professional bankers, and they are doing this. So what is it in your belief, personally, that we can do to systemically cleanse our society of some of these things that have held us back, and will continue to hold us back as long as we keep doing these things?
So there should be two methods of approach. The one you describe is called education. Now the one I'm describing, the training I'm describing, to make it mandatory that, look, if you are a town chief, it is by force that you have to go through this training. If you are a paramount chief, you have to take a paramount chief training. Because being educated is different from being trained for the position you occupy. So I still come back to training now. Another factor that is involved is the systemic, the cultural acceptance of corruption. I left Liberia when I was of age. And I know that if you and I work in the same institution and you are building a lot of houses and are managing my meager resources, you'll be considered as being smart in the community and I'll be considered as being dummy. So our culture hails corrupt people. So we have to take the direction of training our leaders and also educating our people to know that corruption is not something to celebrate. Corruption is something to shame and condemn and put down in public.
Corruption is a thing to be condemned and shamed. This is our Reverend. Let me welcome Senior Dukese Mesga. Dukese is following from Damala Town, Pokpa District Grant, Cape Man County. I also want to welcome Ambassador Walton Buchu Morgan. Thank you very much for following. Emmanuel Braw says he's following from the great city of Minneapolis, Minnesota. On this Friday, June the 10th, 2026, Jan Mabaro, also following from the great city of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yes, but let me go back to some of the things that if you were to be made president of the Republic of Liberia with all power vested in you, what would be the first policy that, based on your experience and your worldview, that you would try to implement or would like to implement on day one when you were sworn in as president of the Republic of Liberia?
Well, swearing in comes after having a cabinet that you're destined to work with you. Everyone that will work with me will take an oath that you will never be above the law. Because the problem we are faced with today, there are too many presidents or self-thinking presidents in Liberia. They think they can just act as president with impunity. So if I were elected president of Liberia, I will ensure that everyone coming on board will take an oath that you are not the president, I am. And if you break the law, I am going to bring the hammer down on you without discrimination. And that will be followed with immediate action, because when you make these rules, these laws, when you make these policies, people will come to try you. So you have to show example that you are going to live by what you preach.
Let's go to one of your platform issue here. ULI has objected to the $1 remittance surcharge being proposed by a certain segment of the diaspora. An organization in the diaspora is pushing that $1 of your remittance to Liberia be set aside for them to use to build roads, to develop electricity, to build hospitals. And I understand ULA has some reservation, and we want to discuss that. Your take and your position.
So let me just give you the background of my interaction with the gentleman who's heading this project. I met him at ULA convention. They didn't expect to meet him. He spoke with me, and after that he approached me. I told him my mind. The next thing that I heard was a bill was before the Senate to impose the $1 surcharge, or any name you can give it. The problem that we have is there are too many organizations in the diaspora that present themselves as representatives of Liberians living in the diaspora. The reason for which ULA has a problem with this bill is it affects us directly. It affects the people that are working in nursing home, cleaning the hotel rooms, those that are babysitting somebody's child for a living. And they affect our people in Liberia that will be receiving that $10 that I'm sending. All we are saying, one of the reasons for which we say that bill should be sent back to sender we were not consulted. The diaspora Liberia was not consulted. If this gentleman was taking a project to Liberia that had nothing to do with our $1, we would never have said a word. But it's going to affect and reduce the remittance we make to our people. So I think he should have done due diligence by holding a couple of town hall meetings and see how Liberians feel about it. And one of the things that clicked my attention really is that there are several bills before our representative or Senate that have to do with dual citizenship, that have to do with voting out of country. These bills were not accelerated with the same pace that I saw DeLong accelerating this other bill. So you are saying here today to make a roadblock. This bill is not understood by us. It's not understood by our people. I think the least I can do to our people, bring it back to America. Let us, scrutinize it and see what is in it. Even if you are giving me cake, let me have the privilege of seeing what cake it is before you put it in my mouth. But they were just railroading and moving with speed. And this is why UNA said, no, it does not serve the interest of our people because we don't know what is in it. Our people didn't have an input in it. So I think the best thing to do is bring it back to America. We are not an organization that knows it all. We are an umbrella organization. We entertain conversation with you and hear what you have to say. Because this kind of bill needs the backing. It needs the backing of UNA. We don't need to own it, but we need to know, yes, that's a good bill for our people. But we can't certify it. We don't know how it came about, and we just read about it in the Senate. So that's UNA's position towards it.
Well, why wouldn't lawmakers support this when you are telling the lawmakers where you're going to raise $50 to $100 million for you? If I was a lawmaker, I would expedite that too. You telling me you're going to give me 100% of $100 million because when you look in the bill, it has no accountability piece, it has no disbursement piece. So the government is looking forward to raising money, and somebody drop this in your lap and say, you know what, we can give you $100 million. I, as a lawmaker who needs money to support my lifestyle, the opulence, I would say thank you very much. We're not saying it, you saying it. We're using your mouth to chew the hot pepper because the government cannot impose on the people in the diaspora. Say you are coming from the diaspora and giving yourself as a guinea pig, we will experiment on you. So I see where they're coming from. But let's talk about the legality of this. I was able to look at different models of what they're trying to do. I look at the one in Rwanda. I look at one in Ethiopia where they built, I think, like a $2 billion dam. What they did was they did a diaspora fund, which was like a T-bill. It was an investment. You invest into this dam, and you get return on your investment at a certain point. And when you have had enough, you can stop with your investment. It's not perpetual, but this one says there is no return on the investment. It is as long as you are alive, every dime you send to Liberia, they will take a share. And then the outside to that, well, what is the money for? And they say they're going to build roads, they're going to build hospital, they're going to do electricity. So then the question is, then what is the responsibility of the government? Because it is the government responsibility to provide the public utilities, which are roads, hospital, lights, and water, and all. If you are going to do it, then what is it the government is going to do? So this is what we are talking about. Let's talk about the formula, how they came up with this $1 per annum or $1 per remittance. So if you send $100, you get $1. If you send $2, you still pay your $1, whatever you send. So if you send, like some of us send basically every month, you're sending money to your nephew or your cousin. So you were sending 25 times a year. So you would be giving $25 perpetually for the rest of your life, according to this bill. So that's some of the flaws that some of us saw. But let's look at, I saw in a preamble that this organization is the umbrella organization for all organizations, all Liberian in the diaspora, or every Liberian in the diaspora. Is EULA part of their umbrella, because they are saying they are the overall umbrella of all organizations? So then EULA now has a grandfather.
One of the mistakes most of our leaders, whether in private or public sector, make is that they fail to realize that they are dealing with experienced people. There were some that were younger when they joined EULA, but some of us were very seasoned before we joined EULA, and we joined EULA for a purpose. The absence of EULA from the public sphere has created the appetite for a lot of organizations to show up like they represent the diaspora. But he listed EULA as one of the, sponsors of this bill. I want to say and tell Liberian people, as first vice chairman of the board of directors of EULA, EULA never sponsored this bill. EULA is not attached to this bill. By the way, EULA does not support it, and EULA is encouraging the Senate to reject this bill and not push us forward.
Let's go to something that is very germane, and it comes around once in a lifetime. The Liberian constitutional review process that we are talking about. If you were old enough, right after the coup in 1980 or so, 81 or 82 or so, there was also the constitutional review that brought in the new republic, I think Second Republic or so.
Yeah.
Now we are talking about reviewing the new constitution, another constitution, and the same mistake that has been made by the organization that are trying to impose a $1 thing without consulting the Liberians. We are hearing that now we are about to start the process, and I don't know whether EULA and other other organizations in the diaspora are in on this. So talk to us a little, what you know about the new constitutional review, and what is it that EULA is doing to be a part? If not, what are they doing to have an input?
So look, let me just read two strips from EULA's preamble and from his motto. They say, for our common good and advocate for political, social, and economic development in our country, the Liberia. Then in the motto they said, together we struggle for a better Liberia. I read about this constitutional review process in the Wild Wild West, and I started to wonder, Professor Alari Toba is obligated to be aware that there are diaspora Liberians who are Liberians also. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt. So what I started doing is calling his office. I have some numbers. I'm calling them. No one has picked up. I'm going to send an emissary personally. I'm going to talk to the board of directors of EULA, and we'll deliver a letter personally to him so that the government can facilitate his travel to the United States. Because there is no way that there can be a constitution in a republic that we all belong to and we don't take a part in it. But EULA knows nothing about it. We're not informed officially. We're not invited, and we know nothing about it. But we want to be a part of it because it involves all of us.
Let's talk about most likely I think you would prefer, from talking to you, it looks like you prefer when they were doing the War and Economic Crime Court or reconciliation, when they were going through the process. They went all over the world. They were in the diaspora. They went from state to state. They went to Europe and had town hall meetings, and they talked to witnesses. They did an effective job in bringing that commission together. I think you are envisioning similar, in fact, even bigger engagement if need be.
Okay, man. There is no other justifiable reason for Liberian government to hold parties in America than for constitution review. Any government that spends money because they want to review the constitution, that money spent will be justified because you are trying to meet the thresholds of constitution review to have the involvement of everyone that it will impact. So exactly what I'm looking at is that you are going to work with Professor Alari Toba if he reaches out to us so that we can organize his travel to the United States, where we will hold various town hall meetings in strategic localities in the United States of America so that Liberians can have their input in this review process. And look here, if the government, I don't believe they will say so, but let's just look at the worst case scenario. They say we don't have money at all for that. I think we will start to go around and beg because there are international institutions that can sponsor this kind of travel as opposed to the travel they've been sponsoring. So this is what I'm looking at, to have the involved mass participation of diaspora Liberians.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, I have with me Reverend James Bagley, first Vice President for EULA, Board of Directors. From his utterances, you can tell he knows his stuff, and he's representing EULA very well. But let's go to one of the more contentious parts of the Liberian Constitution. Let me pull up my copy of the Constitution here. One of the areas of contention is, there are two. First would be the Negro clause, where Liberia citizenship exclusively for Negro or Negro descent, and two, right to own property in Liberia. To some, the backwardness of the country is the absence of ownership. If a Lebanese guy has a business in Liberia, he cannot own the land, he cannot own property, he has to lease. Well, I spoke to the leader of the Lebanese community when I was in Liberia in February, and he was very blunt. He said, I do make a lot of money from this country. He said, and I do take them out of the country. I had no reason to keep my money here. I own nothing here. I take my money where I own my home, my property, my right. I take it to the United States, I take it to Great Britain, I take it to Lebanon if I can, but not in Liberia because I have nothing here, I own nothing here. Investment is not my priority. So what is your take about that clause?
So you see, I have introduced something new in EULA. And I say EULA should not shy away to attend aspirants' political gatherings. We have to attend and listen to them, listen to their pledges. Because moving forward, we are going to structure EULA that will hold people accountable. Now, on the issue of that clause, I want us to revisit why was it inserted into the Constitution? And without reading any script, I can clearly say to my listeners that the founding fathers of Liberia were free slaves that ran away from the very people that are not Negroes who enslaved them, and they wanted to have their liberty. I asked myself someday, has that condition been eradicated? Let me take you to information I'm hearing from my village area in Taiwan. There is a productive palm oil there. But there is another group of Taiwan citizens that are crying, saying that they don't have a place to make their farms anymore. Let me issue a disclaimer. This comment is not on behalf of ULA from a personal perspective, because I love to convene ULA meeting, board meeting, and the past resolution on the issue, then I make a pronouncement on behalf of the board. But from a personal capacity, it is against the interests of our people. Just for the sake of development, for the name of development, to grant citizenship to non-Negroes. Look here, if we want to have development in our country, let us revisit the concessional agreements. The minerals we have in our country. I worked in Lamco Yekepa when I was a young boy. I know Liberia is rich, I know it can do better. When I went to school in Lamco Yekepa, at least Lamco was trying to send us to school, at the same time feeding us and doing something great. Let us revisit those concessional agreements and see what our people are benefiting from the minerals that has been extracted from our country. Let us build a gate on the exit of cash from our country that we are receiving peanuts in return. I think when we scrutinize these contracts, we can have a better return that can help to develop our country. But to say, well, because we want to develop our country, Lebanon man say he's making a lot of money, so we're granting. In the first place, because we don't have system, that's why Lebanon man making a lot of money, and Yabba not making the same money. You cannot go to Lebanon and make that same kind of money. No. You cannot go to Ghana and make that same kind of money. No. Why should it be Liberia? We have to examine our system and put in guide rails that will stop exploiting our people. Just because people get a little bribe here and there, it benefits certain family, then they grant them any kind of concessional agreement. They can mine anything they want to mine. At least that's what we are hearing from the news. If we check ourselves and revisit those agreements and block the waste, I think we can find better enough funds to develop our country. But making non-Negroes to become citizens, let me just tell you one thing. Even to go use bathroom, we buy that space to go use bathroom if we do that. And I will not be advocating for that. I will be going back to EULA and seek consensus. I'm going to return to this show and tell you what EULA says about that.
I'm looking at the statistics here in West Africa. Ghana is very prosperous. And it says, yes, white in Ghana gets citizenship to non-Negroes. White individuals can become citizens of Ghana through naturalization, provided they meet the country's residency, character, and language requirement. So here we are. Ghana has expanded its economy to billions. They have opened their arms to the diaspora, black and white, as long as you met different criteria. Bring your money, bring your investment, because that's what they know. When you come, the investment will come along with you. And Ghana has not gone the route of the doodoo bird, according to your own assessment here, that your village will be taken over because they are poor. But you are not looking at the villagers putting in place their own laws that will guarantee that it becomes a win-win for everybody. You are shifting the responsibility from your village or from your people to the man who wants to invest, instead of you telling the guys that, listen, this is how it's supposed to work, and we're going to enforce the rules to protect the people. So it's a win-win. But you are saying, no.
So I like the way you introduced the Ghana model. Let me just educate our listeners. Ghana just did not advance to that level. They started gradually, first by prioritizing Ghanaian citizens. First, they did it for several years. And again, they buried, they knew they were satisfied, they were well protected before they started to open the gate. We have not done that. I used to be the sales manager for ExxonMobil in the 90s. And I know how well Ghanaians were protective. They didn't allow Liberians to own certain things, but they protected their country, their land, their resources to a certain extent that it has matured to open it to the outside world, whether you are black or white. Liberia has not done that. So let us start from the crowded space. We can't just jump and say, look, we are opening it, and knowing our country, knowing the kind of way we behave. My brother, we just start from opening the gate from the top. You and I, we're not even found where we came from.
Well, let me push back on that. In America here, you've been working here, and I've been working here myself, and I've been in management. There's something called "do not reinvent the wheel." Somebody have done the research, they have gone through the headache, they have gone through the pain, they have a model that works. So why do you want us to go through the growing pain when Ghana has experimented, when they have done all of those things, they have gone through it instead of going to Ghana and saying, listen, we need some help here. But let's look at the Liberian people. The reason I'm saying you are shifting the blame from the Liberian to the foreigners is this. Liberia have passed a law called Liberianization. There are certain things that certain corporations, certain businesses that should be owned only by Liberians. It's on the books. But the executive had never enforced those laws. So it is not the foreigners again. This is what I'm saying. You are shifting the responsibility lies on our executive to implement and enforce the laws that are on the books. The laws are there. They have all the protection we have in Ghana. There are certain things you can't do. You can't sell cold water. You can't sell kanya. You can't sell pepper. These are Liberian things. And you see the Chinese are not selling peppers and bitter ball. Nobody saying anything. Nobody enforcing the law. So it is not the Chinese to blame. It is not the Lebanese or the Indian. It is your government that write things and put them on paper, but do not implement anything.
So I think we are saying the same thing almost, maybe in different language as well. And I agree with you. The laws are already there. We have not started implementing them. But just what I described, just I didn't say the way you say it. Let us have the courage to implement the law as it is written and gain the satisfaction that we are mature enough when it comes to leadership to invite non-Negroes to become citizens. And so this is what I'm saying. I think we almost saying the same thing. No, I didn't remove the burden from our people. Our people know how to read the law. One of the laws they understood well is James D. Barclay, who was of age, helped to clean Monrovia after the war, came to the United States, is no longer a citizen. They understand that one good. But those are the ones you are just naming that, look, these people should not compete with our people to sell cold water in the street. They should not be selling bitter ball. They don't understand that. So that's why I'm concerned. So I think we're saying the same thing.
Another thing is, let's talk about our birth rate. Let's talk about the flight. Something back in the 80s, there was a philosophy called urban draw and rural push. Everything is in Monrovia, so everybody, you're from Bagleyville or you're from Fishtown, wherever you come from, you're from Basel, everybody is coming to where everything is, which is Monrovia. So in my client in Grand Bassa County, where I was born, when we were growing up, it was a bustling community, had maybe 2,000-3,000 people within that client. And in my hometown, we had like 200 folks. Now, I went back in February, I counted 17 folks in the whole town. As the children want to go to school, they go to Buchanan, from Buchanan come to Monrovia and never return. So now we have over 2,000 acres of land that we have and less than 100 folks. And the last time someone called me and said, the Fulans, now the Burkina Faso and all kinds of strangers are encroaching on the land. And they called me and I said, what is it you guys intend to do? We have this huge parcel of land. Your children are leaving, they are deserting the place. Somebody is going to take the land. So why don't we form a co-op, find a company to come, take the land, we sign an agreement where it's a win-win, where we get royalty, where they can build school, and your children and your children's children will benefit from it perpetually. As it is now, anybody can take the land, and because Liberia is a place of power, they get money, they they can bribe the judiciary. Whether you have bought land 3, 4, 5 times from the same person or from different folks, this is what's going on. So what are you doing personally to address your village where you come from, where basically nobody's there anymore, everybody has left, including you. You are in New Jersey. So how do we produce, how do we preserve our ancestry with the kind of birth rate that we have in the flight?
Well, I cannot directly address the birth rate, but I can address the issue of migration.
You can address it because when they migrate, they can't have no children there.
But I think all of these are contingent upon the provision of basic services to our people. When returning to your village is incentivized. When I was young, I knew there was electricity in Sino. I knew there was electricity in Grand Bassa County. So every government that came to power in Liberia for the recent time, the major pledge will build roads. I don't know if Liberia is being expanding gradually that the roads cannot be completed. If our governments can build these roads and complete them, somebody will be happy to go. But everybody will come, will build roads. Then you find out somebody gave you Facebook page that one car gets stuck, and then you get confused. And then somebody will get out and challenge the person. But I believe if somebody living in Moria found out that there was a road going to their village, a road network, they would prefer going to their village and they can produce some crop that they will sell in Morovia. But all the systems that support life, they are concentrated in Morovia. So there is nothing. Taiwan is now blessed. There is oil palm and people go there to work. But other districts are not fortunate in the same way. So I think that governments, and I use the word S, social marketing, I'm targeting a specific government. But if governments are inclined to deliver those business services, starting from roads, electricity, I think our people will be very happy to return home and inhabit or re-inhabit their villages where they came from.
I was born in Bassa, obviously Buchanan. We had no interest in going to Monrovia because we had all the big corporations in Buchanan. So nobody went to Monrovia. We had better things. We had better life in most instances in Buchanan than you will have. We were enjoying the privilege of the rail bus, the train services. We go in Buchanan, go to Yekepa, go to parties, go to the commissary, go to shop and all of that. So we were living a decent life. Going to Monroe was my choice. Everything, you needed, you had that. So here we are. There's no way that I'm going to go to Sino when, even if I had a job in Sino, everything that I need, passport, driver's license, you name it, everything is still in Monrovia. So you have to come to Monrovia. The university, like in the United States, they got community colleges everywhere. They got schools everywhere. Everything that you have in Toledo, you have in you go to Cincinnati. There's no reason for anyone to leave Cincinnati and go to Toledo. Nothing. There's nothing there that they don't have where they are. So those are the things we are talking about. Every government talks about road and decentralization. We shall become just, I guess it's a cliche. When we talk about decentralizing the government, it's not just where we have the Ministry of Finance is going to have a small office in Sino. That's not decentralization. Okay, you are talking about outpost. So what would be your idea? How do we now turn the clock around to reverse the rural push? How do we reverse that?
To make a change in our system of governance, it needs a very determined and powerful head. And I say this publicly. When I began, I told you that there are too many people that present themselves as junior presidents. It is the responsibility of the President of the Republic of Liberia to assess his people to make sure they are delivering on his pledge. Most of these things were promised, but the president appoints some people and they disappoint him. It's time to take courage, and those that are not delivering according to your expectation, dismiss them and replace them with those that will deliver on your platform. To build roads was a pledge. To provide electricity was a pledge, and other stuff. But most people just receive these appointments and they go to bed. They just feel that nothing's going to happen to them. Nobody's going to move them. Nobody's going to fire them. But I think it's time. And like I told you, ULA is going to form a partnership with the president. We are going to remove this fear where it's said that ULA is just coming to attack people. But no, I think the president needs another constituency in ULA. That will say to Mr. President, we are with you if you are doing what is right. And he will just board those that are not delivering. Our people have been on this condition for a long time before President Bouaka became president. Our people have been suffering. Every president that came promised them. They failed to deliver. Every president that came promised them and failed to deliver. Why should our people go through such pain and suffering? But this is the time that we are going to approach the system in Liberia and say, look, we are here to offer help. Not to seek appointment, not to seek job, but to give some advice and provide support.
Let's look at Liberia's problem. When the foundation is crooked, I don't care how good you are in building, the building is going to be crooked. Let's look at Liberia's form of government. What do you think? What is your take on the unitary form of government?
Actually, when you said the word foundation, first of all, I look at it from several perspectives. So I don't know which of the side you are looking at it from, but the foundation itself is the system we have. And I refuse to blame the president alone when there are shortcomings in our country. There are other responsible people in this government that were chanting, Segwe, Segwe, we will change, we will do this. There are responsible people in this government. So no one is going to hide behind the name of the president for shortcoming of their performances. I think each functionary within the system must hold themselves accountable to deliver to the expectation of the people of Liberia. You know, so I know usually when people say foundation, it goes to the president. Right, and the president holds the gavel. He has the power to hire and dismiss. He has the power to set the tune of direction in which the country will go. Because our people didn't go to the ballot to elect a cabinet minister, they went there to elect a president. So we think and we agree with those who think the president should lead the charge.
I'm talking about, when I was talking about the foundation, I was talking about this, the mechanism, the government structure. Like, for example, in the United States, they have a federal system where everything is based on revenue sharing. The states, they perform the governor is the president of a state, and it has every structure that is in Washington, D.C. Liberia has a unitary system where the presidency is the most powerful. He appoints who dies, who lives. He appoints governors. He appoints superintendents. He appoints police chief. He appoints. There is no. You are from Sano. There is no police department of Sano. There is no police department of Kawiken. There's no police department of Buchanan. They are all one police department from Monrovia that send one or two guys who sits there. If something happens in Sino, they have to wait until someone comes from Monrovia. That is the unitary system that many people who are into government say it has failed our country until we can resolve the unitary, resolve it, dissolve it, and find resolution to that. There's nothing you can do. Okay? Everybody works at the behest of the president. Everybody wants to sing Kumbaya or Zekwe to the president because he's the more powerful person as opposed to if you are from Sino, if you want to be a governor, you're responsible to the folks, you do revenue sharing. Every mineral that leaves Sino or percentage of it remains for the people of Sino. The federal government is in charge of roads, education, and those kinds of stuff. But when it comes to even state roads, the state can do those things. When it comes to local school district, you can run your own school district. All of these things. But Liberia is fundamentally flawed according to some because of the unitary system where everything is at the executive mansion. If the executive mansion doesn't say go, nothing goes.
I think the framers of our system, they saw a good intent. But I think that system has been repeatedly abused. If it were properly implemented, we wouldn't have been crying today. But I want to agree with you that the federal system, like the way you describe it, is one of the best and most efficient way of managing a country. But that does not remove the responsibility from the current system. The current system, if handled well, responsibly, transparently, and diligently, Liberians can still benefit from it while we review the next step.
So let's go to for some who say if Bagley was elected governor of Sino, he is directly responsible and answerable to the people of Sino. They can remove him at will. But when the president sends you as the superintendent or the governor, your loyalty is not to the people, it's to the guy who appointed you. That's the downside to that.
Okay, that's the superintendent side. But let me just bring in about the senators and representatives. Mm-hmm. You see, the culture itself is so, I don't know, it's so mentally corrupt. They celebrate corrupt people. They hail corrupt people. That's the thing that is eating the fabric of our system of governance. The way our people celebrate you because you are corrupt. So even the president appointing the superintendent, but you elect your senators, you elect your representatives. Why should you repeat electing the same corrupt people? Why? You could have done better. That's why I say, look, the current system we have, if we can manage it, our people will benefit. However, the one you just described is the most efficient to have the people electing their own superintendent and they can remove him if he does not perform well. That is the most efficient. But I know it's going to take us time to get to that point. So let us use the one that is in place.
And why I call you?
No, I should have gone to a committee meeting at the city.
Oh, okay.
But I told them I'm out. I told them I'm out. So
okay.
Yeah. I told them I'm out. Yeah.
Let's talk about local government. I'm going to hold you for just 30 more minutes, and I will let you go. Let's talk about local government, because the foundation, the success of this nation, as big as the federal system is local government is the linchpin that holds everything together. You are a local a council person. You work with your people. You got the city council. I don't know how you do it in Florida. Here we got city council. We got city commissioner. We got county commissioner. And then, you go up from there. So in Liberia, we do not have city commissioners. We do not have county commissioners. So at a local level, if you have city commissioner of Greenville, where they were elected, like we do here, right? Where you were elected, you were accountable to the people. We say, okay, the city of Greenville have the city commissioners. The county of Sano has their own county commissioner. Okay? Then you have the governor, the superintendent. In that way, the stuff is broken down into pieces that is manageable. But when you bite a big piece that you can barely chew because it's so big, so huge. So the superintendent now is the county commissioner, is the city commissioner, is You name it, everything falls under the superintendent. They are not doing any revenue sharing because Metal Steel is giving Grand Bassa County, I think, $1 million annually for social development fund, but the money does not go to Grand Bassa. It goes to Monrovia first, and then Monrovia sends the money back to Buchanan. But when Monrovia is in a deficit, then they will use the county development fund. I think you heard that the late Senator Prince Johnson had an issue with the Weah government because he said for several years they didn't get the county development funds because there was always a deficit in the national government in Monrovia. So the money leaves Metal Steel, Buchanan, it goes to Monrovia to the DPAC, okay, to the central government, central deposit. Then the government looks after everything else, and then you go and appeal for your money. And they go come until Prince Johnson got upset. But that's the procedure because we do not have the local governance. So all of our money, I looked at the national budget, and each county got $200,000 for allocation. $200,000 to each county. What can an administration do? $200,000? But it is a system. Again, we're back to the system, unitary system, where everything goes to the apex, and then it trickles down. That's what they call trickle. When it gets down to Grand Bassa County, it has gone from millions to pennies. This is the corruption we are talking about, because by the time I was talking to another friend who was part of the process one time, is that when you go to get even your own money, the folks at the central bank, you got to give them something. The ministers or finance people, you got to give them something. By the time that $1 million gets to Bassa, it's like maybe $850,000. And then who knows what else happens. So the system, when you hear me talking about a system, the unitary system is so powerful. Honor Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she had problem with Willie Knuckles, Setuma. Because Setuma was writing on the state letterhead, said, as per the president, I request X, Y, Z, as per the president. Because once you hear as per the president, and it's on the letterhead of the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, you have to acquiesce. That's the power of the unitary government. That's the power of the almighty president of Liberia. They decide who lives and who dies. So this is what we are talking about. Those who don't like the unitary system, they say that's too much power to put in the hand of one person. That's why everybody wants to run for president. They don't want to run for senator or governor. There's nothing there. The president has all the power. This coming constitutional review, you were sitting on that. Now that you have all the knowledge, you look at a different system. What would be your first input in the all the stuff we have discussed? What would be your primary input, one or two, in the constitutional review?
First of all, I want to review the power that the legislative body has over a government. You see, we are only looking at the presidency alone, but Liberia is structured with the representatives and senators having some authority to summon and review and approve, to provide oversight. So from my perspective, from my thinking, if they are effectively performing their functions, I don't see where the executive can get away with anything. So I was right with that saying that if it ain't break, don't fix it. It's not too broken yet, but let us review and see what is the legislative body doing to provide oversight over the executive. Are they functioning as the check and balance, or are they just a rubber stamp? Because if the latter is the case, then we are fighting a losing battle, because they have the power to call the executive to attention. They have the authority. Look at it. You are saying that $200 and something thousand county development fund. I mean, Liberia is richer than Pleasantville. In Pleasantville District School, the school budget is about more than $100 million. So whole county, that's something to revisit and find out, because Liberia has resources. That one of the reasons I want us to re-examine, what are we getting from the resources? What is our benefit? Is it going to pocket a few individuals and just pennies on the records? There are critical things we have to look at to get our country back on the right footing.
Honorable Barkley, if you listen to this show and other shows, about a month or two ago, the vice president visited Bee Mountain. And when you saw the report, Bee Mountain brought in a little over, I think, $1 billion. And Liberia got like $33 million as their share of our wealth. What other proof do you need that this thing is not working for the people?
No. I mean, I don't, and I agree with you. I'm being very choiceful with my words, because I'm a gentleman that loves to investigate with tangible evidence. But that the vice president himself provided evidence, that is alarming. I mean, you cannot dispute that there is corruption somewhere. That one investor raking away billions and giving 33 million to a country and nobody say anything about it, something is wrong somewhere. So in this case, given the vice president's position as the president of the Senate, I'm going to be looking forward to him to hear what he has to say about this, because he has a say, he has authority. He's over the Senate. I mean, what is his position? What authority has he offered from his discovery? So it's good that you reminded us about this. I'm taking notes on it, because there should be a way forward. I mean, the gap is so large. Why they are taking and what we are getting? Why is the contract drawn in such a way? Who signed that contract? Who worked on it?
Honorable Barkley, we got 15 more minutes here with you. We appreciate your time here, because usually most politicians don't like to come and sit and answer the hard questions, because they know the tape is always going to be available. Somebody's going to pull it up 10 years from now and say this. But let's look at the reason that some people are very, very pessimistic on Liberian politics. We have the contracts, and I'm going back to history now. Firestone, 99 years. That was before us, and we said that was terrible. But then in our time, we see the Metal Steel deal. We just extended 25 more years for the same rate. This is in addition to what was signed on Ellen. So I'm saying there's something intrinsically wrong with this system. Who in the world would give the future of its children for 25 years? And they always say, well, you know, we will be dead and gone. They can do it later on. This is the mentality we have, that it is all about the instant gratification, what I can get now. The future doesn't matter. Legacy doesn't matter. If you took some of your council members to Liberia today, you as a councilman would be embarrassed, because the country doesn't have the basic public utilities. We don't have running water. We don't have electricity. We don't have plumbing. We don't have what in this country they call basic utilities. There's no running water. Nobody in Monrovia can tell you that they have had water in their home for maybe 30 days straight, or they have had electricity, light in their home without flickering or going out for 6 months. It has never happened. I was just in Liberia, and I keep saying it here. I was with some foreign folks, and we were going to Garguah, and we were seeing people lining up along the river doing public defecation. And everywhere in Monrovia downtown, you see, do not pee here, do not pee here. It's written on all the walls. This is 204 years later, Honorable Barkley. I think Honorable Barkley is having a problem with his connection. Are you okay, sir?
No. Yeah, I'm there. I thought you were having a problem. I'm fine.
No, okay. Go ahead. If you heard what I said.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I heard portion of it, but let me just address them one by one. For change to come to a system, it does not require the entire nation or the entire body of legislature to bring about a change. Let me just give you a scenario here. Poor boy, the first time I was elected, somebody asked me, "Has your campaign account closed?" I said, "It's open." He said, "Somebody want to donate?" Somebody wants to donate to your account so that you can give to charity. Then later on, I realized somebody invited me to bring a project in the city. And that project was something that I couldn't sign on. I was the last vote that would have made it to pass. So what I did was I made a potential investor to host a meeting of the Fellowship of Churches where pastors will sit. Now, the Fellowship of Churches is an organization that will be celebrating its 100th anniversary this August. I'm the first African to serve on this executive committee. So I made him to invite the Fellowship of Churches preachers to a breakfast introduction. And then I sat back and watched the people. The project was rejected. So when the time came to take the vote, I told them, no, I wasn't going to vote for this. In fact, I said, signal, if the media is called tonight, I won't be voting for this project. Immediately, they said the lawyer had problems, they withdrew it from the table. What I'm saying is that it needs one courageous person to be joined by another selfless human being to start the process of change in Liberia. Look, let me just tell you that you cannot be weak-minded and speak about change, and then tomorrow you are awarded a position, then you forget about the things you cried about years ago. We remember you. Now, when you spoke about people using the sidewalk and everywhere to say, don't pee here, it's horrible. But my question is, where has the system provided for the people to use for that same reason? You put the laws there, but you provided no services. So when they met Jim, what would he do to himself? So it's like having a dog with no teeth in his mouth. If you make the law, find a way that it can be implemented. If you say don't pee here, let the person walk few steps and see a bathroom that they will use. When I was small, there were bathrooms all over Monrovia. And water was running through there, you could just go and use a bathroom. Where has that willingness gone? Why are people not willing now to reintroduce those things? Now that we have more resources than before, what is our excuse?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is a very interesting issue with Honorable Barkley. Honorable Barkley is not only the first vice president of ULA Board of Directors, but he is actually an elected official of Pleasantville. He sits on the city council. So you know what the city councils do. They make laws that govern the local city. That's what local government is all about. And then above that is county commissioners. Every city has their own city commissioners, and they go out and advocate for the people. That is direct representation. The school district, the school board, they decide what is taught at the different school system. They decide who qualifies to teach. They decide how the backgrounds are checked. All of these things are done locally. They don't wait for no big man to come from Washington, D.C. or Trenton to go down and tell them how to educate their children. When we talk about trash, sanitation, yes, Everybody pays to have their trash collected. But the government also has a private sector that is vibrant, that at least 80% of the population will have employment. And then they have the social safety net. So at least it will give you a chance to be able to pay the basic bill, your water bill, your light bill. Yeah, they will cut your light once in a while, but you will have means. They even have agencies that will give you emergency help to turn your lights on.
Yeah.
That's the safety net we are talking about. So, Honorable, we got 8 more minutes here. Give us your parting comments. What is it you would like to see in Liberia? How can you help? How can we collectively do it? How can you help? How can we help individually? And why should we have hope that things will change?
Thank you very much, Mr. Gayman. I want to thank you and your colleagues for hosting us here today. Our appearance here is to reassure our people in Liberia and in the diaspora that EULA is stepping up to the plate. And like we spoke about corruption several times during this program, we are going to work with our people that corrupt individuals will not just go scot-free. There's a system in America here that will identify you. We are going to put teeth in the mouth of this EULA dog this time. So you're not just going to get away by practicing corruption in Liberia and come and hang around in America. We will put a system in place that will greet you. If a negative greeting is what you will get, there are ways we can embarrass you to stop being corrupt. But we appeal to our people. EULA cannot help you alone. If you see something, tell the president. If you see something, let us know. We are going to help you. We know you can't talk because you are worried about where you will sleep tonight. I am not. But I can take the phone and call Jeff Van Drew, my Republican Congress friend, and say, look, I have a problem. I can take the phone and call Chris Smith. I can call my senator and still sleep in my house. So I'm here to help. EULA is here to help. And we want to give you hope. All the little names you are seeing flying around there that represent diaspora, don't honor them. EULA is the umbrella organization that is charged to lead the advocacy for our people here and at home. We will not let you down. We will stand by you and keep the faith. Let us walk this journey together. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Honorable James Bagley. You know, when the Bagley people, you know, they came from the Caribbean a long time ago. They came in and they became the minds. And you talk about entrepreneurship, you talk about self-reliance, and that Bagley clan, hopefully the same or lineage of the same, went on to produce presidents. Because of all those that migrated to Liberia, the Bagleys didn't come from the plantations here. They came from the Caribbean. So they came from the British system. They were well educated. They were entrepreneurs. They saw the land as a place to prosper, and they did. Arthur Bagley, that whole clan, they all came from the Caribbean. So yes, for some of us who do not have faith in the system, we have a lot of data. For those of you who are optimistic, you got an uphill battle. Because I have data dating back to 1822 that will prove that this system doesn't work. It got worse even after 1980. And now that we want to talk the real talk, we were saying when the country boys and girls come to town, they will do it differently. You were right. They are doing it differently. They're doing it worse. We are doing it worse than what we made it. And usually in America, they say, this great nation was built as is for immigrants, for all of us. The only requirement is you got to make it better than you made it. That's all. As long as you are eager to make this thing better, you are in. In Liberia, that is not the case. Nobody wants to make the country or the nation better. Everybody wants to make themselves better.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have in social science, we call fiefdom. You got so many beautiful homes in Liberia, you can't see them. Everybody have a little enclave. They got their compound. They got 10-foot walls. Then why are you having all these beautiful buildings when nobody can see it? You build a prison. You build this wall and you got all these barbed wire, the prison wire, glass bottle on top of your own building. All the money you stole, you can't enjoy it. You hide it from yourself. So ladies and gentlemen, this is our Friday submission. We discussed everything. We did the entire weekend review. People call in Liberia and call about what's on their minds. And we are grateful to a character or caliber of Onobago. Please don't make this your last time. Come on anytime you want. Just let me know you want to come on and let us know what's on your mind.
Thank you very much. You will be more frequent on your show because we want to make sure people hear EULA and they feel EULA. And I want to close by thanking the board of directors of EULA, the chairman, Daou Kamara, the secretary general, James Joyon, the second vice chair lady, Dr. Kone, the assistant secretary general, Mr. Greaves, and our treasurer and other officials. I want to thank all of them publicly because it was a tough battle to agree that the board will hold the bull by the horn. And we are here to say you will see you most often. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and God bless. We see you Monday, guys. Now we can sign off. Thank you very much. God bless.